Hello, everybody. If it's Wednesday, it's Warhammer, and that must mean it's time for another episode of Warhammer Weekly at a Euro-friendly time. Joining me back on the show, two of our favorites, Paul and Dino. Paul, how you doing today? Welcome back.
Oh, I am doing fabulously well. What's up, nerds? Good to see all of you back here again. It's been so long since I've been on the show.
Yeah, almost a month. Dino, welcome back, brother. How you been?
Hello all. Hello everyone. And it's been what, 6 months now or something? It was summertime then. Now I'm snowed in one of the worst snowfalls in Sweden in the last decade. So good to be here. It's nice and warm over here.
The idea of one of the worst snowfalls in Sweden is like legitimately horrifying to me. A place that every basic shot I've ever seen, every picture of Sweden I've ever seen has snow in it in some capacity or another. Right. Like, I don't mean always like I understand you have seasons. I'm not saying that, but like there's always at minimum in the picture mountains that have snow on them or something like that. Right. Like it's ever present in every image.
Here's the thing. We don't have mountains. It's something I miss from Greece where I live. There's mountains around me, but it's so bad that the collective traffic is stopped. Schools might be off tomorrow. Let's hope. I'm a teacher, so I wouldn't mind one more
well,
day.
There you go. Good luck. We're pulling for you.
Yeah, but the only things that move around right now are the trucks that are trying to take the snow off the road. So
absolutely, your snow plows. Yes, I'm sure you all are ready for snow. Yes, quite a. There you go.
You can see the white in the back. I'm guessing.
Of course. Nice.
All right.
All right. Well, today we're going to talk about Nurgle, and folks, let me tell you what, we're getting right into it. There's dispense with all the other nonsense. The grandfather demands we get in and get this action a rolling. So, by the way, snow days are lost on children. They're much better on adults. So I'm pulling for you. You know, I want you to get this snow day. So
yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Just,
the best
quick,
was.
Quick
go ahead.
Dude. Yeah.
Go.
News. Nurgle comes out. Painting. We're all painting Nurgle. And pick of the week. Someone talked about Nurgle already. So done.
There you go. That's right.
You're welcome.
That's all the news. So boom, we minimize this down. Nurgle 2025 Battletome. Before I flip to my summary, Paul, what's your overall feeling on this Battletome? Just high level, how you feeling about it?
High level, my initial read was that it felt pretty strong, but it looks like it is going to be playing differently than Nurgle has in the recent past. And then I saw what the points look like, and I'm like, oh, this might be a problem. So, a problem in a good way if you're a Nurgle player, but like this could be a problem for the tournament scene.
I like that. Real quick here, Ymir Hades with the super chat in honor of the new Nurgle release. What is all of your favorite Nurgle moments from the lore? Oh, interesting. Good question. Who has one they'd like to pick here? Does anybody have a thing hot off the top of their head?
Do you have the PG-13 one or the non-PG-13 one?
You can, I mean, as long as you're not actively cursing, go for it, whatever you like.
No. The fact that the warrior Magath Lord is a mix of a human witch and a great and clean one.
Oh.
An unholy union is what it's called.
Okay.
So that's the one. My favorite one, though, is the fact that Nurgle was pissed at the Glotkin brothers. So he put them in a jar and left them in the garden. And then at some point, he's like, I cannot be mad at you. So he released them into the mortal realms. And that's how they got from the old world to AOS.
That's fun.
That's my favorite one.
I'd say going back for me to like the early stuff where you have everything happening in the realm of life. The whole interaction with Nurgle and the Sylvaneth and the Stormcast and kind of all of the redemption of what's his name? The guy we finally got a figure for in his redeemed version, the Stormcast guy. What's that?
Into Tornus.
Torglug,
I believe he was.
Torglug, the real one. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Torglug into Tornus. Yeah. That's a cool story. I thought that was neat. So there you go.
Yeah.
Paul, you got a moment?
I just personally love that beasts of Nurgle just are basically slime puppies.
Yeah, sure.
I just really enjoy that they have, and even in gameplay, they have always made them just operate like puppies.
Remind me, is it the fact that the beasts of Nurgle get so sad that they turn into plague drones, or is it the other way around? I'm not sure. Anyway, like a beast of Nurgle, I think that's the one. They cannot find friends to play with, so they get so sad they turn into a chrysalis, and then they turn into plague drones. That's how plague drones are made.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe so. Sounds right.
That's fun. If they get sad. Yeah. I think this is a good review. So let me hit you with my overview. I think this is a very strong and interestingly synergistic book. I think they did a good job with this. Like at the high level, the design of this book I think is actually good. I was pretty excited about the new units. I think they did a good job giving a lot of the new units a home, making them interesting. Not everyone, but many of them. I think there are some real standouts here that most lists are just going to contain. I do think this book, auto-include is a bit hyperbolic, but there are some units that I think are more or less going to show up in like the vast majority of army lists, right? That will be up at like the 70, 80, 90% pick rate in lists. Okay. Which is, I mean, like, this is a big army now. It has actually quite a lot of units. It's not the biggest, but it's got a decent roster. So if you're hitting that number, that's actually pretty surprising. But I do think that is true. I agree with you, Paul. I have here the book is playing a different strategy than most of the game, but I do think it's doing it well. And I have right now the points are way too low. Like, way too low. Like, it is outrageous right now. So enjoy this time period, Nurgle players. Get your units on the table quickly. Enjoy your overwhelming victories. And then when the inevitable, when you know them, when them kneecappings come by, just be ready because it's coming. Some things are coming precipitously, I would say. And then my last overview note is sorry about Blight Kings. I don't know, put them on a Rot Sword base, I guess. Whatever the solution is, because you're not playing Blight Kings anymore. That's what they are. I know Pulsar, they are that price and they're bad. I'll explain. Like, that's it. There's no reason to put them on the table. They're just bad. They're just like objectively worse than 3 other choices in the book. That's what it comes down to.
At least 3 other choices.
Yeah. At that price.
Points based, yeah. Points based, yeah.
Yeah.
My thoughts about the book is, first of all, my Johnny heart sings.
Oh, sure.
When reading this book, finally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people are going to be surprised by how they play, including players, Nurgle players, or people who are like, oh, Nurgle. Yeah, I've heard they're resilient and all that, and which they are, as long as you play them that way. I think the skill floor of this army has raised quite a bit, and the skill ceiling at the same time, obviously. It's a Johnny book. There will be surprises of people saying, I thought these were resilient. And the answer is, well, they are. You're just not playing them right yet. So learn the army, which is not a bad thing. And I do agree, I'm going to be the third one, to say that the points means that a couple months from now, probably you're going to be -1 unit.
Yeah.
Some things will definitely be almost always present on a table. And what you said, the thing about auto-includes, the thing that changes this situation is that there are too many good units.
Right. Yeah. Yes. That's why I said like 70% is the line, because I honestly think there's so many good things you can switch around between them, and that'll knock some of them out of the list. Yeah.
As for Blight Kings, here's the thing about Blight Kings, everyone. They are the most Nurgle war scroll ever made, because just reading them makes you sick, makes your stomach roll, and saying what is happening, despair is there. Having said that, if you do like the new models, which I love, they look gorgeous to me, they will get better. That's how this game works. At some point in the future, a few years from now, you will be putting them on the table, and they're gonna look gorgeous, because this war scroll, there's no way they're gonna see this and like, what did we do? What is this? Right. What does this even do? So, yeah, that's what I think. Until then, just put them on 32s. They look fine as rock swords.
Absolutely. We'll get into it. I understand people want to defend them because people have a lot of sunk cost into Blight Kings, but I'm sorry, guys.
No.
I'm
It's
sorry.
fine.
Tom
Just
Kelly,
read
I
it.
have
super chat.
70 Blight Kings. I have
Yeah.
a lot of sunk cost.
I
I'm
understand.
okay with the rest of the book being good.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, and they may become valuable at some point, points adjusted. Like, that's the thing. Like, right now, there's no purpose, but in the future, they could be actually a good economic choice, depending on how the rest of the points move, because there's no way their points are going up. They're actually the accurately costed thing. At any rate, Tom Kelly with a super chat. I'm on a week of leave looking after my 6-month-old and spent the last few days adjusting his schedule to sleep during your show, and you go and start early. Luckily, he naps twice.
Sorry.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Well, very good. We'll be quiet and we'll make sure the little one sleeps. No, all right. Yeah. I get it. Okay, look, we're just going to jump straight in, folks. Let's get right into the mix. All right, let's start with our battle traits, which is a bunch of stuff about disease. Okay,
Yeah.
That's just what this is. And you get a tree. I'm sorry, a bunch of stuff about disease, and you get a tree. The relevant stuff to understand here, that is like the important changes from the existing functionality that does matter a lot, is you can now infect people if they're up to 7 inches away. You have to roll a 4 up to get that infection instead of it being automatic if they're in combat with you. And when you cause the mortal damage in your end of any turn, so at the end of both turns, when you trigger the damage, it's not a roll anymore. It's just D3 damage. So it's automatic. Okay. The other important thing to understand now is you do have an ability to infect somebody if they blow through your unit, which there are a couple of ways you can build lists to take advantage of this. Most of the lists you play, this is not a concern or a function you're going to use, because the idea of someone killing your unit in one go is comical. Okay. But
Yeah.
it's there as a backup for some kind of horrible worst case scenario. And so like, yeah, so you've got basically a lot of you spread very easily. You're going to change the way people play. The fact that you can hit people at better distance, the fact that you do the damage automatically, and the fact that you can catch them even if they actually kill your unit is all advantageous. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. I think an important thing to point out that isn't like obvious on the surface is that change from like the bad D3 to a straight D3, that's going to increase your damage by 20% off of disease.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not an insignificant change.
It's a
The
huge
thing is,
lot.
I have to say that my last game with Nurgle, which was in early December, it just so happened that I never failed a disease roll. I never, like, the bad D3 was never a bad D3. It was always a D3 +1 because of old Taliban. And the KO against me just melted away.
Right.
It felt oppressive. And so being able to always have that's a lot. I think they lowballed the strength of disease when they came out with the index. And when this book was written, they would probably see this and they were like, this might be a bit too weak. What do we do? Let's add the pustule, which was when you kill something with disease may jump up to 9 inches away. And then they removed the D3, the 2 up. But that's not how it works. That's not how the game works. It's not like, all right, more like 1 + 1 damage. No, it goes like almost exponential. So I think they have sort of underestimated just how strong this can be.
Disease is a lot stronger now, especially when combined with things like Rodigus, which we'll talk about as we get into it, and some other things and something that's going to be on the next page that is going to be truly the auto-include of every army. But for the most part, if you're familiar with disease and the way it works and the spreading and stuff like that, then fine, right? So no big deal there. Okay. So, all right, cool. We got disease. We get a tree. You get your tree back in your hero phase if you don't have a tree. You're going to have trees. If people waste their time attacking your trees, congratulations, you've won the game. Enjoy your victory. Because what a stupid thing that is to do. Yeah. Because you probably have Horticulus in your list as well. Let me just say that. He's on my list of darn near auto includes. Well, for auto-include purposes for the rest of the show, so I don't have to keep clarifying, I'm going to talk about everything that hits in my mind, a 75% inclusion rate. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Boop. Battle formations. All right. I could read all 4 of these, but there's no reason to do that. Okay. There's just literally no reason to do that. The only thing you're going to select is the Tally Band of Nurgle. The others don't exist.
Yeah.
This will be 30 points, 40 points, 50 points whenever they adjust it. Like, that's what this will become, because this will have like a 90% pick rate. I mean, nobody ever does everything, but this is the one you're picking. It is insanely good and strong. And even if the enemy changes their entire deployment strategy, right? So that you can't spread basically automatically and just infect half their army. Because most people set up in a relatively combined castle. I've got the points, Bird. Don't worry. We're going to go through them as we talk about them. Great. You've already won because you've pushed all their combat range hero buffs and everything else way out of position. They've had to set up like a complete lunatic to escape this mess. And you're still starting with a diseased unit basically automatically. Okay. So I got in one good game. I've only gotten one good game against Nurgle so far. I got absolutely housed. I mean, just you talked about melting. My poor little Hellsmiths, they do not have the wound density to withstand this army, right? And I was playing an all Bull Centaur army, so like I actually had a decent chance of avoiding this progenitor, right? Because the lowest wound model in my army was 4.
May I pause you right there and talk about this? Let's go into the Johnny hive mind now.
Go for it.
And it's not that it's not like he needs to roll to give you the debuff, the progenitor keyword, let's say. It's like they just don't get diseased if you don't roll a 6. They can get diseased later in the game.
Sure.
That's the issue. So people are like, all right, just move them outside of combat range. Okay. For the whole game?
Right.
So
exactly.
Is that what you're telling me? Like your very important unit that I'm definitely choosing because this is going to break down all your combos is not going to be in combat range for turn 1? Cool. Here's a 6. I may just roll a 6 or anything. I love the fact that this battle formation is scales up. Like a newbie versus another newbie, it's gonna be like, haha, you put everything next to each other. So boom, disease. Oh no, you got me. While when you play at a game 5, you're gonna meet someone who's up there, and you will have to switch their whole game plan.
Yep.
Because of the fact of what you chose. Not clan rats because they have health 1. That's not the point. It's the thing that, like, if someone plays against me and they target my 10 blood knights who have health 3, I don't care if they don't make the 4-up to begin with. They just destroyed my whole game plan because now I cannot get anything next to them. And it's a huge print. So, sure, you choose one and it becomes a progenitor for the rest of the battle. It's not disease turn 1. It will get disease very, very soon because you're obviously going to do that as the army can like reach out now. And throughout the game, this is something that you need to have in mind all the time. And that is a heavy mind load to do.
That's right.
So I don't think it's going to get up to 50, but I do understand the hype for sure.
Yeah. Gooball, you don't have to roll a 6. You need to either roll a 6 or equal or exceed the plague progenitor's health characteristic. And I want to really focus in, Dino, on what you just said because it's really important.
Yeah.
When you pick that unit, they're automatically the plague progenitor. Okay? Regardless of whether or not you tag them with the initial disease, which, I mean, if you do, great. They're the plague progenitor. And now for the rest of the game, if anything wanders near them and you pick them as the spread option, not only do you get the spread, everybody in combat range is now diseased, but you also do a bonus D3 off of that progenitor. They can't cure the plague progenitor. They can heal their disease, not in the first battle round, not first turn, first battle round. They're stuck if you do get them with it. But they carry that tag around for the rest of the game.
Yep.
Okay? It's so strong. It's so crazy strong. against the vast majority of armies, they will have an easy mark for this. And if they have any kind of synergy buff they're trying to do, keep a guy in combat range, do this, that, the other thing, bing, bing, bang, instant spread, instant mortal wounds. There you go. You're already off to the races, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, it's extremely possible that you can Plague Progenitor someone, okay? Like, you succeed. Let's say you succeed. And then at the end of turn, you spread off of them. Let's just say there's a little foot hero in range, right? So they have a good unit and the hero that buffs them and makes them valid and good. You spread, D3 to that hero. You racked with disease, D3 to that hero. It'd be like at the end of the next turn, D3 to that hero. That hero's dead.
Yep.
Okay? Like, combat range, any foot hero that wants to be in combat range in this army is just dead. It's just dead. Playing against this army. Unless they just like literally wander on their own very carefully.
Yeah. That's why you don't choose the little foot hero as a plague progenitor. You choose the Ironclad. You turn into a plague ship. So
right.
it's going to
so
be
if anybody
there
gets near
for
it,
the
it's
game.
just instant death.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you're like, I need to remove this thing. So yeah, good job. Kill it.
Absolutely. Yep. Wymir Hades with the super chat saying, in your opinion, how do you make Nurgle and Pestilent Skaven thematically unique? Nurgle should be the slow attrition, grindy side, like basically what it is now, where it kills you slowly through disease. Pestilent Skaven should be the frenzied, like wild, high damage. Disease has driven them mad and insane with like no toughness, but just like constantly doing damage and chipping things for killing them. And they go forward and just explode side of that, where they're all like fanatically lunatics. That's how you would do it. If you actually wanted to develop the Pestilence Nurgle, which they've shown that recently they're not too interested in doing that, sadly, but there you go. So yeah, it's Plague Progenitor, the Taliban of Nurgle. This is the thing you're going to pick. The other ones are all like whatever. They're whatever. They're literally whatever. Okay.
That's
so
true.
Cool. Yes, I mean, this thing costs 0 points right now. To be clear, I wasn't saying it costs points now. I'm saying in the future it will. It will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you run like 1850 or 1900 points list, you're going to be fine. Your list is not going to change that much.
Yeah. I mean, I would say you can build a list here with this army for 1,750 points that you feel like, yeah, it's 2,000 point army. Like, that's very doable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's like, they're probably 20 to 30% undercosted right now as an army, like, you know, average on the whole. That's not each unit. Some units are perfectly fine. Some units are actually a little overcosted, but there you go.
True.
Okay. How many points would you not take it at? 80, 100? I mean, probably 80 is too much. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, 80 is a bit too much. You don't need it that much. It changes the game of your opponent. So if you're at the point where, well, an extra unit would do that as well, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's just getting the disease train rolling much earlier, really, is what happens. And it forces them to move. It changes their whole game plan. Like, it's really potent. I think I would definitely take it at 40 points. I'll answer that pretty simply. I think it's completely worth it at 40 points. So
Agreed.
There you go.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Heroic traits. We got 3 of them, as we always do. First of all, you got Grandfather's Blessing, end of any turn. If this unit is in combat with a diseased enemy unit, heal D3 this unit. Okay, I don't mind end of turn heals. What a ridiculous set of criteria to put on something. You have to both be in combat and it has to be a diseased unit. Like, sure, okay. I mean, they will be, because you will have diseased them because you're in combat with them, probably. But whatever. The gift of febrile, febrile? Sure.
Febrile, yeah.
That one. This one. Pick a visible, non-friendly, non-hero Maggotkin of Nurgle unit, wholly within 12 of this unit to be the target. On a 3+, add 1 to the attacks characteristics of the target's melee weapons for the rest of the turn. Okay. Neat.
You can just call it the 20 points one.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, it's good. It's fine. It's perfectly good. It's like, it's a bit of like, it doesn't matter. It ends up being a bit of a hat on a hat because you don't actually have many units that are super great at fighting, but it can certainly do plenty of work. I'm not saying it's bad. You're going to take multiple units. This is a perfectly great gift on. It's also any combat phase, I would point out. So it does work in both, which is insane. And then finally, overpowering stench. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the target. You and your opponent roll off. Nope, stop. I stopped reading. It's a good effect. Stop it. Do not roll off. Don't play the Timber game. If you've ever played Sons of Badmot, you do not want to play this game. I promise. It's a terrible game. You're going to lose all the time.
You know what? Let's give a PSA out there. Apart from the do not strip your models, just reprime them. I have to say that.
Right.
And the second PSA is roll-offs you need to win. Draws,
Correct.
you reroll draws, which is important. You reroll draws. People don't realize that. Like if they draw like, I didn't win, so they go on with the game. No. It's in the core rules. Reroll the draw. And yeah, that's why I said the gift of frenzy is a 20 points one, because people are gonna be like, on a 3-up, more attacks.
On a 3-up, you're more dead. Paul, what about you?
Yeah.
You aligned with this one?
Yeah, I don't see, like, this is pretty much auto pick to the Febrile Frenzy for me, unless you're going to go with the soggy heroic trait that lets you do damage when you charge.
Gotcha.
There is a good one there as well, where you add priest. You become a priest, or you get +1 to your chanting, which is another good one. So,
yeah. Probably not as necessary thanks to the inclusion of our new Darkwater hero, but it's still good because you're going to end up having her. So, but yes, I agree. That's also a good pick.
One of the 7 auto-includes.
Yeah, exactly. Artifacts of power. We've got the Witherstaff. It's pretty bad now, but that's fine. Okay. Then we've got Carrion Dirge, which is a once per battle thing that is a control score manipulator, a big control score manipulator, but it's only once per battle, and you don't really need it. You're going to be playing big units. You won't really have much. I've seen some people talk about control score stuff. I don't understand this. The enemy is probably dead. Your units are probably bigger than theirs in most cases. I don't know why you need to manipulate control scores. You probably outnumber them a lot of the time. So, okay. But it's a thing.
You don't need that many. That's the thing. Yeah, go on.
Go, Paul.
The only thing I can think on the control score manipulation is that there's a bunch of abilities in this book that test against control scores or control traits. So maybe for guaranteeing those things to work the way you want them to.
The thing about control score is, like, since you're so toxic when you're sitting next to others, they're gonna get removed. So there's one choice from the Harbinger that says once per turn, when you actually need it at the end of the game, remove the control score by 8 or something like that, which would probably enough. You don't need to build unless you want to express your creativity in an army list. It's not where the game is right now, but different people play the game. It gives you reasons to do that, but I don't think that's where the game is at. And like they are trying, but this army doesn't actually need it.
Right.
It's there, but it doesn't need it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why the Witherstaff, by the way, is probably the pick. Let me just, I'll get to go to both of you. I think I'd probably take the Witherstaff most of the time. The issue with why it doesn't do anything now is because the enemy unit both has to have charged and be in combat with this hero. That's okay. You can have your hero in a place where basically if they charge you, then they're really hosed. It sucks that it's then also on a 3-up. That's why it sucks. So it's like, you've got to have the hero in the right place. You had to think ahead to make sure they're there. You then have to make sure that they actually charge that hero, and then you have to roll a 3-up. And if you jump through all of those hoops, you do neuter their combat, assuming they're not a damage 1 enemy. Okay. So, okay. Like, it's just too many hoops to jump through for an effect that is admittedly good in certain circumstances, but it's a circumstantial benefit nonetheless. It's still probably the thing you're going to pick because I think the other two are absolutely worthless. They're just like dumpster choices.
No, man. No, I disagree with that one. I think the Rustfang is actually a very good choice for different reasons. First of all, the Witherstaff, they need to charge you. Nobody should be charging this army. Like, find a way to win this game without charging.
Correct. Stay
And
away.
then it's on a 3-up as well. It's on a 3-up, and then it removes damage, which okay. But the Rastfang, it's +1 rend every combat phase.
It is, but it's only
it's not-
against enemy heroes or monsters.
That's the ones where you actually want to go through. So +1 rend might make them stay away. That's one thing. The -1 damage doesn't say anything because you give the choice to the enemy. You give the choice to
Okay.
the opponent not to charge the
Sure.
thing. But with Rastfang, like I can think of I know you don't like things from outside the book, but a Demon Prince with a rend 3
Sure.
against heroes, that sounds scary to me. Well, but the Rastfang, that's what I would think because I want to keep my general sort of alive, and heroes or monsters, which are the scary things in this game, might try to stay away because of the Rastfang. And it's not only for the holder of the Rastfang; it's for everyone. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah,
Like,
totally.
when
It's just
you charge
-1
with
from
two
save rolls.
things,
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
have the build like with the Demon Prince that can take advantage of it, I agree with you. In a lot of builds, there won't be a good holder for that item. That's my only issue.
Sure. Yeah, that's why I think I would put it on them. Like Nurgle has never had good artifacts in this edition. Never have any good artifacts. But in this case, having reducing the rend or reducing their save, it might keep them off something that you want to keep alive.
Sure.
So that's the way I think about it.
That's fine. I mean, the Demon Prince thing that I know Curran's very about it. My answer is it's cool. You've probably got the points to just put it in as a toy. Again, I think it is that. I think it's a toy. I don't think you actually need that thing to do anything. And like they're just going to go in and it's going to die, but it'll spread a bunch of disease before it does so, which is fine. I don't think you ever take the normal Guo. Okay. Because I don't actually think there's much of a reason to have the normal Great Unclean one. Unless you're doing one very particular demon-focused build. There is like one very demon-focused build that I could see having him in. But it would be the Tree Army of Renown, which we'll talk about at the end, and you don't have access to this artifact.
Yeah. We're gonna keep you safe and not talk about the Tree AOR. Yeah. Now, when we get to the gore, when we get the prayers, there's a nice, interesting, like little Johnny thought there. That sounds fun. So we'll get there.
All right.
Yeah.
Just some dude.
Never any good artifacts. Yeah.
Right on. Just some dude with the fact that we're having this discussion around things like we're trying to find which one's like the 4 out of 10 of these, right? Just some dude. Hey, Vince, do you plan on doing a watch along for the reveal show on the 16th? If so, what are you hoping to see? I didn't even know there was a reveal show on the 16th. Sure, I'll take a look. Maybe, possibly. It wouldn't be a watch along. I would do a recap afterward. If it's good, I'll do a live recap afterward. I never do actually watch alongs because if they just do a bunch of crap, I'm not sitting there waiting through all that. Okay. All right, let's talk about the spell lore. So Paul, did this spell lore make you happy?
Very happy.
Yeah.
I love this spell lore. This Fleshy Abundance is just, it's everything that this army wants it to be. The previous version was really good, and now it's better in 2 different ways, right? Like it went down in casting cost by 1, and now you get to always choose whether you heal or get the subtract 1 from wound rolls, rather than heal if there's damage, or if you're at full health, then you subtract 1 from wound rolls.
Is that how that was? If that's what that was, I definitely played it wrong because I was playing it this way. But okay, yeah, but like this, sorry, whoever I played against, it was never a tournament, so at least there's that. But the fact that it went from a 7 to a 6, oh joy, it is a season to be jolly.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a great spell lore. This is how they should write spell lores. The unlimited spell is a buff. It's one of the strongest buffs in the game. -1 to be wounded. Like that is simply one of the strongest buffs around because it's one of the hardest to get yourself out from underneath. The fact that it's unlimited and you can just like bank, go ahead. Come on in. I dare you. I freaking
There will
dare
always
you.
be 2. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So that's great. Crushing Despair and Cloying Quagmire, Crippling Despair, I apologize. And Cloying Quagmire are both fine. They're both fine. No commands and then half move and -1 to run and charge. Both interesting debuffs that play around in the movement space to give you some advantage in the movement game, because you are overall, I mean, obviously one of the big drawbacks of the army is you're, slow. So
Vince, I was listening to your Snarl cast about psychographic profiles,
yeah.
and the Johnny here perked his ears when he saw Crippling Despair,
Sure.
because Crippling Despair says you don't get to rally away this disease
Correct.
because I'm casting the spell.
Yep.
Because there are spells here that, like, there's a couple spells that are like, you're diseased now. And they're like, okay, rally. And you're like, aw. But this one, you don't get to rally until I am in range, so you don't get to rally anyway. This one is 18 inches away.
Yep.
And there's a dude in this army that says, I remove your ward rolls, and you don't get to use any command points further. Like, this is a death notice. Like, this has been signed. You're going down whoever you are, 18 inches away. And it's on a 6, which makes it a 5 or a 4 and all that. This is my favorite new thing. This is my favorite new toy right here. Like, this will turn heads. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, I will say
No
the
commands
thing.
on 6.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul. What you gonna say?
No commands on a 6 cast is rough. Like, and at 18 inches, like, that's ridiculous. It's so good.
We'll get to it why I think Rodigus is so much better, because I actually don't think your main fear is rally. I think your main fear is something that will get around this, okay? And that's people who, let's say you manage to get like a good solid 3-4 pack of their army diseased, right? The logical thing for them to do is then move toward you and end within 3 inches of a place of power, and then try to summon the bees in the start of turn phase, right? Because then they'll trigger a heal on everything around that place of power. And like, enemy armies will just hug places of power against you because it's their best bet at stripping disease off. Like, it's a 3-up, but okay. Like, it dings everything around them. It will just literally like wipe the disease if they get it off. And so like, this doesn't stop that, but something we're about to talk about will here in a minute. So,
yep.
But I agree. Like, shutting off rally is important because yes, like once you start spreading disease, people will just start rallying like crazy to clear it out. That's absolutely true.
And redeploys and all-out defense. There is so many things. Like, this thing needs to be removed. I'm gonna do the disease damage, but I do need to shave off some hit points there as well. So the fact that it's 18 inches and 6 casting is 6 this is big.
It is. It's a great spell lore. I mean, that's what we can say, right? This is how spell lore should be written.
Finally. Yeah. Nurgle had issues with that. Now it's good.
Prayer lore. We've got our Prayer of Virulence. It's basically another -1 to wound, but they have to be in combat with a chanter. But if it's 10+, then each enemy unit in combat with a chanter, excluding manifestations, terrain features, gains diseased. Fine. It's a very low cast, which is nice, depending again on your particular person. Most of your priests are not going to do this unless you take the aforementioned trait or whatever.
Wearing the cloth. Yeah, Guo taking the cloth and putting Rastfang on him as well.
Yeah, and Omnia. Yeah, exactly. Once they start, they're coming out there with the little flail thing, but it's an incense burner now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. And then favorite poxes is an 18-inch enemy targeter that -2 from charge rolls, which is very strong. -2 to charge is very strong. Again, it doesn't matter very much because like you don't generally care if you get charged. Like, who cares? They were still thinking like, anyway? Oh, I need to manipulate the movement because I don't want to get hit. And it's like, no, that's not the rest of the book you wrote. Okay, it's like, no, please get in here, get on in here, everybody. Can we just huddle up? Can we huddle up? Can we all come in?
Let's hug.
Let's hug, guys. Come on, everybody, come in here. Until the start of your next turn. Oh, if it's a 10+, then they also -1 the dice the charge. And like, that's crazy. Obviously, that's like a wild penalty that just says, well, nobody's charging, I guess. Or that unit's not charging, I guess. Sorry. Okay. And then you're bloated with sickness. is you have to pick a visible, friendly, non-monster Maggotkin of Nurgle wholly within 12 until the start of your next turn. Ignore the first damage point that we allocated to the target each phase. Okay. And then if it's 10 plus, you get to pick 2 units. It's fine. I mean, you're not generally worried about this kind of chip damage, but it's fine. It's fine.
I don't like this New Testament. I like the Old Testament. The
Sure.
Church of Garan. That's the one. That's the revengeful god. The Old Testament was +2 to move, good, and remove weapon properties, no +1 to damage.
Right.
If you get charged, and if it's on a 6-up, it's no abilities except companions. And the favorite one that's on a 6-up, which is probably on a 5-up now, if you get the chance, 5 mortal wounds. Because 7 dice on a 3-up, 18 inches out. That is, do you want more mortal wounds? You can get more mortal wounds now. Because the soggy prayer lore is so much cheaper. Everything is on a 3-up, and it buffs up on a 6-up.
Yeah, I feel like the soggy. I mean, Paul, I want your take on this, but like it's not that this doesn't have play. There's a couple armies certainly that I could imagine you building where this is something you want to do, but I think a lot of this is. I think people will skew towards the soggy prayer lore. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Like it's old prayer lore, and then once the soggy prayer lore is gone, I don't see people running priests that much.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, let's get into the units. Big units. We got that big unit action. I just realized I'm not time stamping this, but that's fine. We can do it. It just started there. That was the beginning. I'll go back and get the rest. And we'll pull this in here now. All right. Okay. Great. Rodigus. Rodigus is 410 points. Now, obviously, there is a Scourge of Gyran Rodigus, but this Rodigus at 410 is real good. He's real good. 22 health, 4-up, 6-up, blah, blah, 6-inch move. That's nice for him. He's got the important things on this War Scroll are the following. Bringer of Plenty. He has attacks. They do damage. It's fine. Whatever. Bringer of Plenty, add 1 to casting rolls for friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle units while they're wholly within 12 of this unit. Okay. Himself included, obviously. And Deluge of Nurgle, which is on an 8, which is a very high number, but since he's most of the time going to be casting with +2 probably, it's not too bad. And that is pick each enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit to be the targets, then pick each friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle unit within 18 inches of this unit to be the friendly targets, then make your casting roll. Each enemy target takes 1 mortal damage. Each friendly target heals 1. That's all fine. It's a little bit of extra splash damage. It works really well with disease, but the important part is the rest of the text that I'm about to read. Then, until the start of your next turn, while they are within 18 inches of this unit, which is a massive bubble around this fat boy, enemy units cannot use or be picked to be the target of any abilities that heal or return slain models to a unit. So, that's pretty good. You disease a lot of people. He sits in the middle of the board. Nobody heals. They all die. That's what happens. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, and his damage profile also got better from previous versions. He does the same... He has the same damage output as the regular Great Unclean one now. Which was always, like... It was one of like your beater options in this book previously. And now Rodigus is just as powerful, which is crazy. Plus he has all this other utility.
Yeah, it's real good. He's real good.
Reading this made me go buy one. Like,
sure.
I've had Nurgle since 2018. I never felt the need to make a Rodigus, even the soggy one, but the people love. And I always thought that, I mean, like, +1 rend is fine, but this is a very, very small bubble. This one literally made me go and buy Rodriguez the next day, and I did. And because this 18 inches, this is insane. This is like the first episode of Chernobyl, basically. That's what this guy is. He is going to just reduce everything to radioactive sludge.
Yeah.
And good luck trying to kill him with the things that's going to be around him. So.
Oh, yeah. He is immortal.
Yeah. You won't get the chance. You don't have enough rounds to kill him. That's what I think. And if they manage to beat him, you probably did something wrong, or kudos to them for doing it. 410 is insanity.
It's crazy.
For an army that once had Glockin at 700, this is insane.
Shalaxi Hellbane
is, yeah.
at 450 points is looking at this like, am I a joke to you? Okay. This is 410. Yes. This is 410 and I'm 450. That's what we're doing here. I don't even know what to do with that. I would point out the normal Keeper of Secrets, which is a trash war scroll compared to this to Rodriguez, is 420. This guy's wild for his points.
I think you can take him at 450. Like, where would you stop here? 500? I would take him at 500.
Yeah, somewhere in that range is probably what he actually is meant to be, is what he should be. Like 480, 500, somewhere in that range is probably correct.
Probably.
Yeah.
Vordry. Yeah. 480.
Yeah. That's probably about right. For what he's doing, he's just so effective. He's supercharging the rest of your casters and himself. He's like such a clinch piece because he shuts off counterplay. Right?
Yeah.
Like, people have to, in any kind of battle, in any kind of fist fight in a phone booth board, you know what I'm saying? Where like when I played against this army this weekend, we were playing linked ley lines. So you can, if everybody can picture linked ley lines, it's 3 and 3, right? You can picture what I'm saying, right? You've got the 2 pairs, pair, and one in the middle. So it's a fist fight in a phone booth, right? Because you're only playing in the middle part of the board. He got Rodriguez and support, and he just stood him in the center of the board. And it was like, well, do you want to play the game and die, or run to the edges where you can heal and do nothing? Those were my choices.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's just like, he'll cover that whole area. So
this is a game changer. Like, this is literally a game changer. I'm thinking of me playing Soulblight with Vordry and playing against Healthsmiths who are ranged attacks. I think they dealt about 40, 50 damage to Vordry, and you finish the game full health because of the many ways you can heal. It can be done. Like, it's amazing. What an amazing tech piece.
He absolutely is. Yeah. Ymir says, with the super chat, says, Rodriguez says, Soulblight Gravelords, eat your heart out. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Yep.
That's true.
So that's why, like, Rodriguez is so good. He makes the normal great unclean one just be like, well, I guess we don't pick this one, because it's very hard to fit 2 of these massive 400 point guys in a single list. Like, there's just there's really no reason for it, and he's just so good. The normal great unclean one is 20 points more for reasons I can't fathom, because the way they adjust points, they're working off the old points first, so they have sunk cost fallacy is the only thing I can think of. He's not better. No. He has his little dumb shooty shoot thing. He's got 2 less health. Otherwise, he's like, basically the same for intents and purposes. Now, I should point out, by the by, Rodriguez does have 10 control, as opposed to the regular great unclean one's 5. That is material, right? Like, Rodriguez controls like a son of Behemoth, like a little boy, right? So that actually is highly valuable. Whereas the great unclean one controls like any normal monster.
I'm guessing that the great unclean one, because he brings back dead demon unit, they need to have that in mind for their cost, I guess. But
sure.
That's it. That's about it. Pretty much.
Yeah. He's got a spell that can, like, disease somebody. It's fine. You generally aren't going to need it generally, especially not if you have like Rodriguez's thing up where they can't strip their disease off. You're gonna spread plenty of disease. That won't be an issue. So like getting one more through a spell just generally isn't valuable. He can bring back demons, but I think that there is like a couple of demon units or lists that I can picture, but I mean, I do think the mortal list is just way better. Just like head and shoulders better. So he's not returning actually what I care about most of the time. So
True. And even the disease spell, like we said, you cast disease, they cast rally.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, they can rally in response to it in the hero phase. Yeah, exactly. The timing of it's jank. Yeah. So like I don't know what this guy does right now, especially not for more points than Rodriguez. That's crazy. That's like completely insane.
Yeah. And your demon units that you would want to bring back with this, they're not going to die. Right? Like you're going to want to bring back, 10 plague bearers out of your unit of 20 that died, but brick of plague bearers is not going to die.
Or if they, unless they hit it with like their hardest hammer, and if they do, what a terrible waste of their resources. You won the game.
Yeah. I was thinking of things like 3 plague drones that are gonna harass to begin with, give disease, die, and then come back to do scouting or something like that.
I think that's probably the prime target is the 3 drones. Yeah,
they start by switching their points and then start going up with Rodriguez. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah, Nurglings, who you're definitely using because they rule, already come back for free. You don't need the Guo to do it. Yes, Curran's absolutely right.
Agreed.
Like I think the only real target for him is the plague drones, and plague drones are good. I think they can be in lists. I think they're quite a good unit. Yeah,
we'll get to them. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Spoilpox and Slobbity Bile Piper. So Spoilpox Scrivener is 80 points and Slobbity Bile Piper is 100 points. I have an opinion on both of these guys. Dino, I'm going to save mine. Dino, what's your opinion on both of these guys?
I don't understand what the Spoilpox Scrivener does. I don't get it. I just stopped reading. I lost interest. The Bile Piper is fun to give plus to the charge, but for 100 points, maybe. But the plus to the charge on something that can teleport 9 inches away, that's always fun. If they can, right? Demon unit, Cankerborn, like enjoy. Like,
sure, we'll talk about the Cankerborn. I have it. Sure, that is a valid combo. I think there's a problem with it, but sure.
Sure, I'm not really interested. I don't have too much of an opinion on those two.
Yeah, Paul, any thoughts?
Hard pass on both, but I will give them some bonus points for exploring the design space of turning off rampages.
Sure. I agree with those. This is the last time you will hear about these 2 units. You don't need to know what they do because they will not be in the enemy army you're fighting, so it will not be relevant to you. And you will not be putting them in your list, so it doesn't matter. There you go. Skip. The Poxbringer, who's like your basic Herald guy, and he's a wizard 1, and he makes plague bearers fight better, which is truly the most good money after bad I've ever heard in my life. But that's funny. Can barely read the text. Well, I mean, it's small text, but I don't know what to tell you. Talk to them, but here, I can do this for you. We'll make it a little bigger. There you go. There you go, Gooball. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, cool, great. Nope. Poxbringer. He is 90 points, which is fine.
This is a wizard for 90 points. I don't know what they're thinking.
It is a very cheap wizard. I think you already have access to good cheap wizards, though. That's the issue. Like, there's other good cheap wizards. That's what's crazy. This 90-point wizard, I'm skipping, who can be included, by the way, in another regiment. This is a wizard who can actually go into somebody else's regiment. And I'm still like, skip.
Yeah.
That's
maybe
the
later.
level we're at
Ask
with his
again.
army.
Ask again later. Maybe the summer or autumn. We'll see.
Right. If there's enough other points moves, maybe. But like right now, which is a crazy thing to say, bonus hero wizards should, at 90 points, should not be a unit I skip by and go, I don't care. But yet, that's what he is.
We're talking about the Poxbringer, right?
Yeah.
I know that people see the +1 attack to Plague Bears and they are like, ooh, +1, which can be +2 because of Febrile Frenzy, which is a lot of attacks for Plague Bears. This guy needs to fight to do that.
Right.
People sort of skip over that. If this thing, like if your opponent, this is my thought process on this. If your opponent allows this guy to fight to give the +1 attack, you don't need this guy to beat this person. Like this person's not that good at the game.
Sure.
Like, so that's where I stand with these ones.
Yep, agreed. All right. Plague Bearers. Okay, so we got 2 scrolls on this page. I think they're both, one is fine, one is quite good. The answer of which one is good may surprise you. Plague Bearers are fine. They're 1 attack, 4s and 3s, no rend, 1 damage. They get -1 for hit rolls for attacks target this unit while it's contesting an objective you control. They have crit mortal. They generally are sucky attackers, making basically 11 attacks out of the unit. They have crit mortal, which is perfectly fine. That means they, on average, get 2 mortal wounds out of their stuff. So they do some amount of damage. 2 health, 6 up save. Plague Bearers are boop ba-doop ba-doo. Sorry, I've got to flip my page.
130. 130.
Yes, 130 for 10. When you first read all of everything that's on this scroll, you think, man, these are great deck chair sitters, or like just objective takers. 6 up, 5 up. Why wouldn't I take these guys? It feels like they'd be a really good choice. We're going to come to units later that I'm like, this is why you wouldn't take these guys. But that being said, I think they're okay. They're fine.
Yeah. Paul, what do you think about Plague Bears? Where do you stand? I know you like Plague Bears in general. Where do you stand on the new book ones?
I mean, I think other things are just better. That's really the problem, is like they're coming in at the same price point as your Pestigores, and Pestigores are just better.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that they can rally with 10 dice now, there's 2 wounds each, so even 10 for 130 points, 20 wounds that are hard to remove because they're -1 to hit, and they're probably next to like a terrain or something if they're not they don't need to be fully on an objective. Like these can be annoying to remove, and the whole book, this is the theme of the book. It's very annoying to remove.
Right.
And they're not bad. They're not overcosted. They're not undercosted. I think they're fine. Like if you have 130 points and this is something you really want because everything else needs to move forward and you want one thing to sit in the back, not a bad choice. Are there better ones? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I'll say. It's crazy to me that this is how we're evaluating this. Let's step apart from ourselves for a moment here, okay? Like, let's just, like, this is 20 health on a T-shirt 5-up ward, right? That makes, like, given basically poopy attacks, they do an average of, like, 3 damage when they attack, okay?
Yeah.
But that has a built-in -1 to be hit, very easily achieved, right? And if they absorb your unlimited spell, becomes -1 to be wounded. 20 health for 130 points. Quick quiz. What does 20 health of Clan Rats, units that are on a 5-up save and given do have 2 attacks but have crit auto wound instead of crit mortal? I'll give you, guess what? One is better than the other. Okay. But they do about the same damage in the end because they're on 4s and 5s. Okay. What does 20 Clan Rats cost you? You got to guess?
Off the top of my head.
I don't know. 100?
150 points.
Whoa. 150?
Okay. Yes.
I don't
this
play
book underprices health crazy. Okay. Like, it is the amount of health you can get out of this book, or like wounds, or however you want to think about it, you can get out of this book is shocking. Just madness. Okay. There is absolutely a board control health build that is just unbreakable by current armies. You can build here very, very easily. Very easily. Okay. And it could rely on Plague Bearers or Pestigores and or Rot Swords. Like, those are the 3 axes upon which that will turn. But realistically, not to jump ahead here, for 1,300 points, okay, which is, you still have a good amount of your army left at that point. You can put 200 health on the table.
Yeah.
At 200, most armies can't do 200 health meaningfully in a game, right? And get to what they need to.
Yep.
And you still have 700 points to build with. Right? Mm-hmm. So you're not just tar pitting them. Yes, you're doing that, but you're going to obliterate them. Like, they will have nowhere they can get into you. So anyways, I agree. Like, ultimately, Plague Bearers are probably just fine. They're like a 6 out of 10, 5.5. There's just better units. But it's crazy to me that that's true, given everything we just discussed.
Yeah.
Probably everybody has some of them. They take contrast really well. You have a great hobby seating video on them. I revisited it like 2 days ago or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plague Bearers are like super fun to paint. Okay. Nurglings. Nurglings rule. That's all, like, period. Nurglings, you get 3 of them for 100 points, which sounds, which in this army is quite expensive. Only 12 health for 100 points. What kind of a ripoff? But in fact, don't worry. It's 24 health for that 100 points. So we're back on board. Fear not. Nurglings are there. They're little beasts. They're there to run around. They're there to literally run, like to be auto run 6 whenever you need to go out there. You could not care if they die. It is completely irrelevant. They spread disease. They take objectives. When they, even if someone blows through them, bing bang, you use the ability that lets you, this is like your point to use that ability earlier, where if somebody blows through the unit, you can disease them. Right? Mm-hmm. So Nurglings cost 100 points. I got in a fight in my game between the big mace, the mace wielding bull out of the Hellsmiths, right? And 3 Nurglings. Do you know who won that fight handily? It was the Nurglings. Okay.
May I ask, how did that even happen? How did that happen?
Because it's 10 health on a 2-up save, and it's way too easy to just melt to disease.
Oh, right.
Because no mortal wound protection. And like my unit's on 4s and 2s. Drop a save here or there, have 1 bad round of attacks. In the end, there was only 1 little wounded Nurgling left. Okay, out of the unit of 3.
He was
but
there.
He won.
He was there. The thing about these guys is that you want them to die. Basically, you bank on them dying. So that's why you will move them up. Because it's end of any turn. That could be turn 5. Could be turn, like they died turn 1, and then suddenly turn 4. All right. Boop. How did that happen?
Unit comes
where
back.
Is it? Where did those come from? And so, this is something that Nurgle didn't have. The way to have things moving around fast, and this is as fast as it gets. So they're golden. I love them.
Yeah.
The one thing that we're missing is that no new Nurglings in this new wave of models, which is sad because painting single Nurglings is one of the most fun Zen garden things someone can do. Like give them 1 hour and you can make something that's super beautiful because they're like this big.
They are great little boys. So yes, Nurglings are pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Next up. Horticulus Slimex. Get to know, come in and know me better, man. You're going to get to know this guy real well. All right.
This is the 3rd out to include, I guess. 3 of 7.
I think he's pretty good. Yeah. All right. Horticulus is 140, if memory serves off the top of my head. I got to go look him up real quick. Yep, 140. Fantastic deal. Only 8 health. Pathetic. 4 up, 5 up with a 4-up move. He has attacks. None of these matter. He has the most important ability you're going to put in your army, which is cultivating the Garden of Nurgle, which says in your movement phase, if there is no more than 1 friendly feculent Gnarlmaw on the battlefield, you can set up a feculent Gnarlmaw wholly within 12 inches of this unit and more than 3 inches from all enemy units, objectives, and other terrain features. This will be very important later. We'll use this later. So having the second tree out of him doesn't seem like a big deal. It's a huge deal. He can also teleport the trees at the end of turns, which is really good for positioning them for reasons we will see. And yeah, and then he can also do a thing with Beasts of Nurgle, which is fine. He can replace Beasts of Nurgle, which is cool. Like, that will be used sometimes. Paul, what do you think about
Horticulous?
Horticulous?
Once you go through them, yeah.
He's an auto include. Like, he's in so pretty much every list.
Paul, Dino?
Something we didn't mention at the start of the battle traits, when you said you get a tree, and when it dies, you get another tree. It means that you don't actually need to put it down as faction terrain when you start the game.
Yep.
Because in your first hero phase or movement phase,
your first hero phase, yeah, tree, you can set up the
put
tree.
One tree.
Yep.
Anywhere, as long as it's not close to enemies, which means you're no longer tied to your deployment zone. So you just don't put the tree down when you start the game, and then when you play, you just put it down. And this guy gives you 2, which is again 12-inch range from the trees is as much as you need, really. You don't need more. And this is one of my 2 auto includes right now. Like, I can see the priest coming up, which we're definitely gonna talk about. This one in Rodigus, this is the 550 points that the list starts there. Always.
Yep.
No question about it.
In fact, I want to jump ahead a bit. Keep talking.
Ahead.
I'm just jumping ahead.
No, I was going to say like the 4-up, 5-up on 8 health, which can be an obscuring and gets lookouts there. This thing, if you don't want it to die, it won't die. And they will definitely come for it. So you can make your game around him. Like, because there's things that opponents don't want to get close to. So that's where you put him. So I love him.
Yeah, my one bright spot in my game was deploy faction terrain is not compulsory. No, Varnak. Nope. Abilities are not compulsory unless they specifically state that they must be done. My one bright spot in my game is I had 3 anointed sentinels. So like the not bull centaurs, but the other guys, right? Go into
the ones the hornier than thou. That's the one.
Correct. Yes. The ones with the masks.
Yeah.
I got them into Horticulous. He was kind of out on the side. I managed to get them around. They nailed a long charge, got into him. I was like, finally, okay, I'm going to have a moment of goodness here. I've probably already lost this game, but I can kill this stupid snail rider. Roll out the hit rolls. Like, I only had 2 of them in combat, the champion and 1 normal guy, because of like the way the charge worked out, even after the pilot. But I was like, it's all right. He's only got 8 health, right? I can do this. He is cavalry, so I had the extra rend. That's a nice thing. I was like, we're good to go. Cut through his armor. All he's got is his ward. I'm 3 damage on the charge. I'm going to spike this guy like a football. Okay? Rolled to hit with my 7 attacks. Hit with 6 of them. I was like, man, this dude's super dead. Okay? 3 up to wound. 1-1-1. 2-2-2.
Oh, man. When it rains.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, well, okay. Cool times. Anyways, let's talk about the tree.
Yeah.
So the tree has 7 health and it's 5-up, 5-up. The relevant ability here that we need to read, I mean, it's not, the tree is good for lots of reasons, but the relevant ability we're going to talk about all the time is Rot Blossom, the second ability. Friendly Rotbringers units have a ward of 5-up while they're wholly within 12 of this terrain feature. That's why Horticulous being able to move the tree to place a second tree is so important. Because he turns all your Rotbringers, who have 6-up wards, as we'll see, into 5-up wards. And it's just like very easy to make sure that everybody always stays in range of a tree. It's just very simple. The tree itself can move, right?
Which effectively makes it a 15-inch range when you need it.
Exactly.
Right.
Because in any movement phase, the tree can scoot 3 inches. right? It can't run, retreat, or charge, but it can scoot itself. It's 3 inches. Can't go into combat and stuff like that, but it can just doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. So it's just always in range. The answer, by the way, is 2 trees. Somebody said, how many trees do I need? It's 2. You need 2. And it's always in range, and it just turns your Rotbringers into 5 upward anvils instantaneously.
Yep.
The other thing that happens is they're riddled with disease. It's less relevant, but it's not bad. It's when your Nurgle demon unit's wholly within 12 rally, you make an additional rally rolls. If it's a non-hero, it's 3 additional rally rolls. So that's where Dino was talking earlier about getting up to 10 dice on the Plague Bearers. It is notable how high you can actually push the rally dice on your demon units, which is cool. But that's much less relevant. Oh, it also attacks, which is fun. Like, the tree does fight.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's got attacks. It's more damage. It's fine.
It doesn't give disease. That's the thing that it lost. It used to be able to give disease 6 inches out, but of course, when the whole army gives 7 inches out, they give disease 7 inches out on a 4-up, and we say that if you don't have a tree, you can put down a tree. People could just start the game by saying, I don't put my tree down. Now I put my tree down. It's within 7 of you, and now you get disease. So they had to remove that part.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, it can only move 3 cold parasite. It's saying it gains this characteristic and must do the thing immediately. Okay, I wanted to talk about the tree because that's why Horticulus is so important, because the tree is so good. All right, so now back to our earlier discussion. All right. Okay, let's keep going. Obviously, the tree doesn't cost any points, by the way. Beast of Nurgle and Plague Drones. Paul, what's your take on these boys? You're a fan of the Beast of Nurgle, right? Rather than me talking, why don't you take a swing at this? What do you like about these guys or not? Oh, by the way, just real quick, I'll lay it on the points. Sorry, I'll lay it on the points for you to frame this. The Beast of Nurgle is 120, and the Plague Drones are 3 for 150. There you go. Sorry, go ahead.
The Beasts of Nurgle were great when you spammed them and you just, charged all over the place and retreat and charged every turn and just did D3, 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 D3. Now their retreat and charge D3 mortal damage ability is once per turn army. Mm-hmm. So spamming these guys is no longer going to be a thing. Are they still going to be fun to play with, like 1 or 2 of them? Maybe. But they're just competing so much for space in this book with so many other scrolls that are just so much better that I just don't really see them getting much play at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's going to be some lists with 1 bouncing around because it can be an interesting piece with 1 bouncing around and doing some stuff, especially just like to kind of add on some interesting board control / mortal damage. But I think more than 1 is basically that's not happening ever. That's done. That's done.
I mean, 1's enough because Horticulus will be there, so you basically get 2.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Beast will not go up in points as opposed to many other things, so you will probably see them at some point, but probably not the start of this book. That's how it feels.
Yeah. What do you think about Plague Drones, Dino?
I do like them. I am trying to find points for them, because they're a very useful unit. If you want to go scouting, they're the best choice you get to have. The fact that there's 3 of them and you get to rally 10 dice on 5 health means it's easy to bring back 1 sometimes because it's 50-50. It's not a bad possibility there. They're not going to deal damage, but being able to move them forward so you can give disease, like project disease, and having your opponent need to deal with them because they're grabbing an objective or just handing out disease near castle if you are playing those anymore. I like them. I think they're good. And for 150, I think they might find space. Like 2,000 points are not enough for this book. That's how it feels. Even as cheap as it is. If you play a battle tactics game, I like them. I like them. Not for damage, but for other things.
Agreed. Yep. All right. Yeah, I think you'll see some lists with like a 3-pack. I'm sorry, go ahead, Paul, please.
Something to note on these guys, as well as the Pusco Blight Lords, they got 2-inch unit coherency now. So these guys, taking a reinforced unit of 6, going like maximizing their width across the board, they make a huge wall of meat that is going to get in your opponent's way and really gum them up for a significant amount of time. I don't know how much of a strategy there really is in that, because you have to get across the board to get that to happen, and we don't really have good movement tricks to do that. But I think it's something that somebody's going to do.
Sure.
It's going to be very annoying.
I could see doing half of it with one unit. Like, you can definitely spare 150 points to get one zone, because you're right. These are 50 mils. So 50 mils, 2 inches, 50 mils, 2 inches, and 50 mils. That's quite a big footprint.
They're on 60s, not 50s.
Is it 60? Right, 60.
Yeah.
And even better. So for 150 points, it feels like a piece of tech. I don't mind rolling 25 dice, 4 on 4 ups, 3 ups. That's not bad.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right, let's keep moving. We got a lot to cover.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Festus the Leech Lord. Disappointment. Trigger sadness. 320 points. He's not worth it. Not right now. Talk to me again when you come down in points. There you go. That's my read. That's my very simple read. He has abilities. They're fine. He gets introduced the little tracking mini game with your leech points and all of this. He doesn't do that much in damage. He's not that particularly tough compared to other things that are just slightly more points. Like, there's no way I'm taking, like, Festus is 90 points more than this guy. Or it's not Festus, sorry. Rodigus, I apologize, is 90 points more than this guy. I would take Rodigus 10 times before I'd take this guy once. I don't know what we're doing here.
You put him on the side because he's a beautiful model, and there's so many things to paint right now that he can actually wait. So he just removes a little bit of that mind space where you're like, my God, I have so much things to paint. Not him. His world scroll will change. This model will be as beautiful as it is right now in 10 years from now. So this is one of the worst scrolls of all times. That's how I feel about him. That's it.
It is definitely one of the worst scrolls of all time. Yes, I love it.
Indeed.
Sorry, I cut that off. I'll give you the answer. Somebody asked, is Festus Wizard 1 or Wizard 2? I think 2, but I'll need to look.
He's Wizard 2.
Yeah, Wizard 2. Yeah. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, it's just, it's just too expensive for what he is. Okay. Sorry. The Glotkin, a guy who at one point in time cost 700 points, is now 470. So, boy, oh boy.
My lovely boys.
Yes, and they basically do, it's 4 up, 6 up, blah, blah, blah. He's a Rotbringer, yada, yada. So see previous things we're going to talk about with Rotbringers. But, it's fine. Does good damage. Has the cool Blighted Stampede. Like, he is what he is. If you're building with this dude's not bad. At 470, he's perfectly takeable. If you're taking him, you're building a very specific kind of list, is what I'll say. That synergizes around him. So there you go.
Yeah, Glotkin is amazing. An amazing model, of course. And the reason he went from 700 to the low 470 now
470
is that his countercharge no longer work. Blightcreek used to be very different. Now you need to countercharge and all that.
Right.
People will still use him. He's a very strong beat stick. He lost Wizard 2 into Wizard 1. He lost Ward 5 into Ward 6, and he's quite big now, so the tree might be a bit more difficult. He deals more damage now. His rampage is excellent. +1 to hit for everything. It's on a 4-up though. He's great. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see him on lists because people want to use the big thing, and he's cheap for 470.
Yeah.
Having said that, there's better things. As this book, that's the name of the book is on a 3-up, it works, and there's better, cheaper things. That's it.
Yeah, there's a lot of 6s out of 10s in this book that in most books you would be like, yeah, I'm totally going to build a list around this. Then in this book you go, man, sorry, you're not making the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Catharsis Chaser said insane power pair with the new knights because they give fight last. May I ask, who's gonna charge this?
Right.
Like, why? Who is gonna charge this? Like with Sloven Knights as well? Why? Who?
What's your battle plan there? What's it? I'll definitely win this fight.
What was your thought? Yeah, like World War I general. Just let's charge. That's it. Let's charge in the machine gun.
Okay. Then you've got the 3 Magath Lords, Blowab, Orgots, and Morbidex. So Blowab is 270. Orgots is 270. And Morbidex is 260. There you go. And my answer is they are summarily all fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've always been like a solid choice in all of these books for quite a while. I think they're still solid. I think they're just still outshone. If the Taliban gets like a crazy points number thrown on it, then I think the secondary battle formation people might go to is the one that gives all of your companion weapons crit 2 hits and run all 3 of these guys.
Yeah, like they all have interesting rampages that can do some things. They all do decent enough damage, obviously, with Orgots being sort of the most dangerous. None of them are really packing weapon properties that I would love to see. Like if Orgots actually had crit something, I would like him a lot more than where he's at right now. I'll tell you the real issue fundamentally with these guys is that they exist in a weird limbo where they're not the big giant thing you want to put in your army that's like really turning the game on, nor are they the massive stuff you put in your army that gives you an incredible health to point ratio that let you survive and just win by spreading diseases, right? Again, there's standout elements of all of them. They're all fine. I don't dislike, well, I don't know. Like Morbidex is fine, is my answer. He's the one I really don't care about. But the other 2 are both good. Morbidex is like a 5. The other 2 are like 5.5, 6.
The Nurglings are like, we no longer need you, Dad. We're great now. We have achieved excellence. I've actually counted through StatsHammer. I checked the damage points, and Blow Up and Orgots do the same damage because of the shooting and shooting in combat, which is why I tend to go to Blow Up instead of Orgots. If you want a wizard, but also a beat stick, since they do deal the same damage, not actually including the +1 to wound on Orgots, that's the thing, including the +1 to wound, but it does give it to other ones as well. But as an independent unit, for 270, a wizard 1 that can deal some damage and hold their ground, I actually don't like them. I don't dislike them. I don't think they're going to go up in points as well.
No, like I think these guys are all at the right points values. Yeah, I agree.
Seeing in the future, I think Blow Up might find space. And plus, it's so funny. Like this book plays at a different power level that his spell, Miasma of Pestilence, it's one of the best spells in the game. It's the Eidolon thing. And me having played Eidolon dozens of times, it says I'm going to say on a 5-up, just so you know. I will always be saying -1 than the thing.
Right, because Rodriguez is just
on a 5-up. Yeah. On a 5-up, your things don't do anything to me. Like no +1 on charge, no critical, no crit 6, nothing.
Yeah.
That's big.
When you shut that stuff off, your units just really can't die.
Yeah, of course. That's the thing. And so I might use Blow Up while I'm painting other stuff. I might use them because I think you will find. I know that if you can use them in a good way. It doesn't have to be the best thing. Definitely a good thing. I don't think it's on a 5.5. I think it's like a solid 7 for me.
Okay. All right. I do agree with Paul that I'll wait. I think if the other points adjust correctly, he'd go to a 7 for me. That's what I'll say. Okay. Boop, boop. Let's talk about a hot new pick. We got a newcomer, Rookie of the Year here in Gelgus Pust, the Prince of Spores, who is a demon. Look at that smile. That crazy smile. He does some damage. He's got 8 health. He's got a 3-up save and a 5-up ward, which is impressive. He is 2 hundo on the points. Is that right? I think that's right. Yes. Oh, sorry, 220.
Sure?
220. I apologize.
Okay.
220. 220. I'm manifesting that I'd like him slightly. He's actually one of the things I think is maybe slightly high. But anyways, just slightly. Perfectly good attacks. But what does he have? All right. Well, he gets to pick a terrain feature within 6 inches once per battle in his hero phase and pollute that thing. I assume he pees on it. And then while a friendly, I mean, I'm just assuming that's what happens. That's how I don't know how you do your, when I'm playing my Hellsmiths and I have to like desecrate terrain or desiccate it at the start of turn, I'm just like, I pee on that. That's what we do. That's how we
You're
mark
a dog
our territory.
person. Of course you're going to think that.
That's right.
Of course you're going to think that. Your own dogs. Where are the dogs, by the way?
They're all upstairs. Yes. They're upstairs being corralled. Okay.
Fair.
Then we have our polluting aura. While a friendly Maggotkin of Nurgle unit is wholly within 6 inches of a polluted terrain feature, each time that unit uses or is the target of an ability that would heal 1 or more damage points, add 1 to the number of damage points healed. While an enemy unit is within 6 inches of a polluted terrain feature, each time that unit uses or is the target of ability they would heal 1 or more damage points, subtract 1 from the number of damage points healed to a minimum of 0. Which leads to my first rules question of the book. If I heal 0 effectively, do I still get to actually remove the disease? My read would be yes, because they didn't put in the heal 1 or more wounds into the initial text. But people will ask the question. Okay. Well, that image isn't leaving my brain. Yeah, sorry. Apologize, but here we are. Then he has Grin of the Grandfather, any combat phase. Pick each enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the targets. Roll a dice for each target. If the roll equals or exceeds their control characteristic, very easy to do usually. Pick one of the following to apply for the rest of the turn. -1 to hit, -1 to wound, -1 to control. They wrote that third one on there as a joke. Are you kidding me? Okay, great, sure. Now, I should state that -1 is to their control characteristic, not their control score. Okay, which is relevant. But most of the time, it's the first 2 you're picking. Let's be honest.
Since control score cannot go down to 0.
Correct.
You can only hit control 2 things. Is there anything that has control 2? Most infantry has control 1.
Well, control 2 is all your 5 health stuff.
Cavalry, right?
All your 5 health stuff. Like, but again,
or heroes.
Yeah, exactly. So your heroes, your Kroiger, you know, those types of models, right? Those are your control 2 guys. So yeah, in that case, you can turn that unit from control 12. It's not that it would never be used. It's just like, okay, cute. And then he has a charge phase thing where he gets to pick each enemy unit that charged this turn and is in combat with him. And on a bad D3, he gets to do damage to them. That's fine.
Yeah.
Again, I think he's pretty good. I think he's not going to show up in many lists yet. I think he actually is slightly overcosted, but I think he's got some neat stuff. I love that he I actually don't mind at all the aura and the that he has. I think it's actually pretty decent. But again, it doesn't actually stop them from removing the disease, which is what you'd actually want and why you took Rodigus. So there you go. Gutrot Spume does Gutrot Spume things.
One little thing on Gelgus, because you cannot see it on the model. He has fly. He has wings in the back, but people don't see those. He has fly.
He does have fly.
Which has repercussions in the game. Yeah,
that's true. He does have an 8-inch move. He's very fast because of that, because of his low wings.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Again, I think he's interesting. I really do. I just think he's slightly too expensive right now. Which is a weird thing to say in this book. He's one of the few. He's also control 5 instead of control 2 for a hero of his thing. Again, there's a lot of heroes that have this enhanced control score in this army, which is funny. Yeah. Which makes it all the more funny that they then put in control subtraction stuff when most of the time you don't need it. So there you go. Okay. Gutrot Spume does what Gutrot Spume does. He's that guy. He's the same guy he's always been. He puts people in reserve, then he comes in. Great. He's 120 points. You won't take him. Next. The Lord of Afflictions and the Harbinger of Decay. Okay, so the Lord of Afflictions is fine. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
He gives your little Blight
Yep.
Lord's Rend, which is cool. He's fine. He's 170
he's a cute little
points.
utility piece.
Yep.
Yeah, he used to be a carrier of artifacts and traits, and the fact that you want to keep those guys alive now means that the fly is an issue. When Overgrown is no longer a thing, you will probably see more because in a 3-up with 8 health, 3-up, 5-up, when you get the chance to do that,
Yeah.
he's not bad. He's not bad. He was never a damage dealer. That's something like Corpulent Avalanche will also go away when Overgrown goes away, which was the Wrecking Ball thing with the heroic trait. He's been Lord Stinky for a while. Infamous War Scroll in 3rd edition.
Sure.
Now he's just okay.
He's okay.
He's okay.
If you like Blight Lords, I think Blight Lords are playable. Again, I think they're a perfectly fine thing, and taking him along with there, as you said, he's a good enhancement holder, whatever we want to call him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing bad about the guy. At 170, it's fine. It's fine. The Harbinger of Decay, our Death Dealer variant number 17, who is 140 points. 7 health, 3-up save, 6-up. Much easier to be 3-up, 5-up because of the fact that he's like his speed is and the nature of where he's going to want to be will keep him around trees more often. He's got some attacks. They do have crit mortal. That's fun, but it's not like a lot of attacks. Relevantly, he's your Slaven Knight guy. And you're a big fan of this guy. Dino, defend this guy. Go for it.
First of all, gorgeous model. It was in the top 10 of best models, and it was the only one was not named. All the other one was unique models.
Sure.
I like him because he's on a 3-up, 5-up, as you said, and he, in contrast with the Lord of Afflictions, he can actually hide in overgrown terrain.
Yep.
But those 8 inches means that you're on a 3-up +1 attack gives you like 20 inches. And if you really want to run, that's 26 inches away. You can bring the Febrile Frenzy if you do that. He has the Knell of Doom, which is another way to give -1 to wounds, which gives you like the 2 unlimited spells that you're going to cast, plus this one of the thing that you really wanted to be -1 to wound. That's another way to do that. He's quite cheap, right? How much was it? 140?
Yeah.
Yeah, which in the unit of reinforced Sloven Knights 500. Yeah, that's the 500 block. The Omens of Decay, where that reduces the control score by 2 per battle round. That's a great finisher when things are not that many left in the end. 7 health is always nice on a 3-up, 5-up, I find. And him being a priest and being able to give all those nice boons from the Benediction, whatever that was called, from Soggy. I think that he's probably your best general because most of the better things are unique. That's it. That's pretty much why I find him useful.
Sure.
That's where I stand on him.
Paul?
And for 140, sure.
I'm not that big on him, but I'm also really not big on Slaven Knights either.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that in like, I don't know. I've slowly just become not a fan of anything that has charge +1 damage. Like getting caught flat-footed far too many times just makes me say, you know what? I just want a good unit that's good all the time.
Sure.
So
especially in the I'm very likely to be charged army.
Yeah. When we get to them, I will have a pushback on that because I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying on the Slaven Knights. I think they're the next. We'll talk about them very soon.
We're going to be there in just a second. My read on him is he's like, I honestly think he's pretty av at best. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's good. I think he's like truly average. His like, yes, the -1 to wound is another source of it, which is good. Okay, I do think that's good. But it's a very expensive package to get that whole thing going. And I think like how you feel about him is almost completely dependent on how you feel about Slaven Knights, right?
Yeah.
As like a piece. Okay. The Lord of Plagues and the Lord of Blights. One of these guys is going to show up in a lot of lists, and one of these guys is dumb. All right, so let's talk about it. Here we go. The Lord of Plagues, who freaking rules. The Lord of Plagues is 100 points. Lord Drippy is ready to rock. Get him in the list now. Write him down. 7 health, 4 up. He's going to be 5 up all the time. Don't pretend like there's not a tree around within 12 of this freaking foot hero. And he's got a perfectly good attack. He's got the old school Stormcast, but with Crit Mortal. What does he do? Well, he's got a passive effect that gives add 1s to wound rolls for combat attacks made by friendly rot swords that did not charge. Ha, like you would ever do that. You get charged. You don't charge. They're wholly within 12. Easy. Puts him on. Going to very easily put him on 2s to wound, which is nice. And he's got 7-fold slaughter. Pick a friendly rot swords unit that did not charge this turn. Is wholly within 12 of him to be the target. Roll a die on a 2-up, not even a 3-up, on a 2-up. Add 1 to the attacks characteristics of their weapons. This guy freaking rules.
Yeah.
Rot swords are really good. Sorry, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. What's even better is what's not on his war scroll that shows up on almost every other war scroll in this book. There is nothing on this that says once per turn army.
Yep.
You can take multiples of these guys. I suspect that we are going to see tournament lists that are 3 of these guys and 60 rot swords.
I think. Well, I don't think you'll see that many rot swords because I think it's overinvestment.
Errata.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a PDF that says errata. Change this into once per turn army. We forgot it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't even know that you need to go that far. But yes, you could. You could. Sure, absolutely. The Lord of Blights. One of his abilities cares about Blight Kings, so that's a loss right there. He's also 140 points comparatively for like basically the same stats, just 1 better save, which is stupid. And he also slightly cares about plague drones, but his once per turn army, I care about plague drones, is a completely irrelevant effect. It's a minor damage thing to a unit. I don't know what this guy does. I don't know why he exists. You have no point now. Goodbye. Thank you.
The thing is, I thought that you could actually make him. I thought you could make him ethereal on a 3-up. No, you need to have Blight Kings with him, make him ethereal, which is the sad part.
Yep,
that's it. If do they realize that they did that? Because the 140, maybe they were like, this guy's gonna be on an ethereal 2-up, 5-up. He can hold on a cavalry charge on his own. Nope.
No, they didn't realize that they had written Blight King so badly. That was the issue.
Right. Yeah. Future stock. Maybe Blight Kings will turn not the way they are right now. I don't know. I cannot defend this guy. Not even a little bit.
Right.
So, yeah.
Other nice thing on the Lord of Plagues, we just got a beautiful new model in Darkwater.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. Good call. Good call. I mean, Lord Drippy himself is a classic. Let's not. We don't want to. He's
It's already a good model.
Say, my Lord of Plagues is from 2017 when my brother just bought me one. Like, here. I'm like, oh, cool. What is this? This is Nurgle. Here we are 10 years later.
And then you were infected.
I still have him. I am. Still there.
The Rotbringer Sorcerer, Skip. Belga the Sis Switch. Let's talk about her. This is one worth talking about. Here we go. I'm sorry. Rotbringer Sorcerer. You're out. Yes, he can -1 people's ward rolls, which is neat. It's just a fun ability. But no.
I just love him so much.
I know. He's 100 points, but no.
Yeah.
Okay. Belga the Sis Witch, who is 120 points, which is already ridiculous. She is a priest 1. She is only a 5-up, 6-up, so realistically, she's probably 5-up, 5-up, because she'll be around a tree. But who cares about any of that or her dumb attacks? That's all irrelevant. Her prayer that's on her scroll is you pick a visible disease enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit to be the target, and you chant it off. You inflict D3 mortal damage, then inflict 1 mortal damage on each other diseased enemy unit within 3 inches of the target. If the chanting roll is 9+, you can also pick some plague bearers, and you get to return things to it. What I like about this is I don't have to care about the 9+. I'm just going for the damage spike, and that's great. Wonderful. Wonderful. And then your hero phase, Scry the Filth. Pick one of the following effects to apply for the rest of the turn. Either 1+1 to casting rolls for all Maggotkin of Nurgle wizards while they're within 3 inches, or 1 to chanting rolls for all Maggotkin of Nurgle priests while they're within 3 inches of this unit. She is Radagus's best little friend. She follows Radagus around. If you've got another caster, they'll also stand 3 inches away from her behind some big giant block of unbreakable infantry. And you are +2 to cast, and you winning. There you go. Yep. Or she can flip to the chant if she really wants to get her spell off, because you got a chance to really just like layer on the damage.
Yep.
It's great.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
really
the Soggy Prayer says on a 5-up, deal 5 mortal wounds on a thing 18 inches away. Or if it's diseased and has diseased things around it, more damage.
Yep.
Cool.
It's great.
Cool. No, I think he's the third auto-include. Vortigus, Belga, Horticulus. Pretty unique.
Yep. MC. What's the source for the points? I have the points. That's the source for it. Okay. All right. Putrid Blight Kings. Let's all be sad. So look, here's rather than get into this, their ability is ipsum lorem text. I'm sorry, it just is. It says nothing. Okay, like I understand that it could in some weird case be useful, and we can live in magical Christmas land where it does something. It does nothing. This text is nothing. Forget it exists. Nope. Their weapon bonus is nothing. Forget it exists. And they at 3 health apiece, they're 130 points. So critically, they're 15 health for that 130 points. There are no less than 3 other options in this book to get a much higher like wound or health to point density that do basically the same damage as these guys. Okay.
Yep.
That's it. And they're on a 5-up. Let's be generous to them. They're on a 5-up, 5-up. Right? They have very thin armor. They can stand near the trees just like anybody else can. But again, with less health, they just get benefit less from the ward. That's what it comes down to. Wards are multipliers on your health, right? The more health you have, the more the ward is worth, right? And, 4 attacks, 3s, rend 1, damage 1, just like isn't a thing. It just isn't. Yeah, okay. They're just not worth it compared to rot swords, pestigores, probably plague bearers, and maybe even the dumb little, although it's a completely different role, but maybe even the dumb little new guys. What are they called? The pox wretches. Yeah.
Yeah, why are they not damaged too? First, like, one little thing. Why are these guys not damaged too? Like, they're carrying such huge weapons, and if there was one infantry unit here that should have damage to, it's these guys. Like, this war scroll is, like we said in the beginning, this is the worst war scroll I've ever seen. Like, how the mighty have fallen. But this is the good news. If the war scroll was great and the sculpt was horrible, I would be more sad, frankly.
Right. Yeah. The sculpt will be with us forever. The rules will change. But for right now, put them on the shelf. They will get better.
Just, if anyone wants to look at the ability, it turns miscast from a 12-inch charge to an 11-inch charge. That's it. 3 rolls of the dice, 1s, 2s, or 3s, instead of 1 roll of the dice, 1s. That's it. That's an 11-inch charge.
That is such
5,
a good
6,
way
6,
to,
5,
to,
6, 6.
to tell people the odds. I love that.
Can you imagine being close to 2 wizards and choosing the wrong wizard? And the other one rolls 2 3s. These guys made it all the way to wizards through maybe, I don't know, somebody said, I'm going to throw all my good money after bad. I'm going to bring Gutrod's Fume to bring them to that side and do that thing and choose the wrong wizard before they die horribly because they're in the enemy zone and they don't have a tree around them. Like, this is sad.
Yeah.
this is so sad. It's almost funny, which feels like Nurgle had something to do with it.
Yep. All right, Cankerborn. So do you know? I would like you to. I'd like you to talk about Cankerborn because I know you kind of like these guys. I'll give you my issue with Cankerborn. Okay, I think they're very interesting because they can effectively teleport. Right. I mean, that's what it is. They have a teleport thing. They interact with the polluted terrain feature that Gelgus Pust does. Right. They don't have to have him, by the way. Like they have other options. But they have a teleport. My issue with them is that Cankerborn are what 200 points, right? They're like a hero that costs 200 points. They yes, they can be a plague scion, so they don't have to take up a regiment. But 200 points is just a lot for what you're actually getting out of this. So
agreed. That was my issue with them. I think they're too expensive for what they have. I mean, 8 attacks with damage-free crit means, like, if you spike there, like when I run a turtle and I roll those 5 mortal wounds, damage 4, 8 with damage 3, that's going to make someone's day. Really, it's going to turn around. The fact that they can teleport even if they're in combat, that's something that is almost out of the game, which is bonus for them. They can just go out of combat if they want.
Right.
I like that. But I think they're too expensive, which is something I was not expecting to say this far in the book. They're fine. The fact that they're heroes and you cannot rally 10, sort of, I don't like it. And lovely models. That's about it.
Paul, anything to add on the Cankerborn?
Yeah, honestly, I really just have all the same points on them. Like they hit pretty hard. It's cool that they can teleport, but I mean, they just feel like they're not worth 200 points in this book.
Right.
If Nurgles didn't exist, maybe. But Nurglings can do sort of the same things you want to do with them. They're a tech piece. So I'm good. I can find damage another way.
Yep. But like, you know, if they get the points down, whatever. They also have an ability that I can't figure out why it exists. Okay. Like it has to be future proofing. Entropy endures if this unit has 2 models and would be automatically destroyed. It is not automatically destroyed. Instead, 1 model in this unit is slain. I do not know a single ability in the current game of Age of Sigmar that automatically slays multi-models with this health.
There's one.
What?
There's one.
What am I missing?
Archaon. They're a hero.
Archaon.
On 2 6s to wound, you slay a hero.
Yeah.
Because they're a hero, you're not supposed to kill 2 models.
Okay.
You kill 1 model. That's what I'm thinking. Because they're a hero. That's probably why. Because
that's
heroes
so
are not
funny.
supposed to be...
You're right. Archaon sword. That's it. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Yep, there you go. Okay, cool. Fun. They have an ability just to stop Archaon sword. Fun. Okay, great.
Wasn't there a Skaven Ball that did sort of the same? Remove a hero from the game?
Used to be. It doesn't exist anymore. That was like, man, that was a long time ago when we wrote fun rules. All right. Puskoil Blightlords. Talked about them earlier. I mean, a little bit in passing when we talked about the Lord. Again, they're fine. The Puskoil Blightlords themselves are 200 points for the 2 of them. It's not a great, you know, like they're fine. They don't do a lot of damage. It's fine. They're okay.
Yeah, my thoughts on them, because I do like them, is the fact that I got them painted. That's the one. I have 2 Blightlords ready to start. That's 10% of the army. The fact that they can just do rent 2 damage with 8 attacks on something, that's always nice. Like being able to send something in, even if it dies, it's 200 points in a very cheap book. And my thought is something that maybe Plague Drones can do as well, but ultimately those do damage. So you send this thing forward to give disease to begin with, while everything else is moves forward, and it's still 16 wounds. Still 16 wounds on a 4-up, 6-up. And they can power through, which means you can bring them closer to the tree, and they deal disease from a distance. So that bonk of 8 attacks with rend 2 damage 2, and then 2d3 mortal wounds from power through and disease, not bad for 200 points, I think.
Yeah, they're okay.
That's my choice. Yeah, they're fine. I think these are the ones who are going to stay at 200. If not, go to 190.
Yeah. Paul?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same feelings. They do a little bit more damage on average than the Slaven Knights do. So the point ratio between these guys and the Slaven Knights, I think, is probably about right. You know, like the Slaven Knights are cheaper. They're not quite as good. They're not putting as many wounds on the table. They're not. Actually, are they? No. Yeah. Sorry. Ugh.
They're not.
My brain
They're
is not
12.
mathing right now.
No. The
Yeah,
Knights are
because Slav
12.
Knights is
These
12
guys are
health
16.
versus the 16 for the Light Lords. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting more health on the table. You're getting better defense in general on the Blight Lords. You're getting more offensive output from the Blight Lords. So, I mean, I still don't really like them in a Nurgle army because your game plan is basically going to be flood the middle of the board with as much health and ward save as you can. And these guys are like maybe a counterpunch, but like you don't really need that role so much in this army. Um, it's good that they're there for the people that like them, but I think that they just don't really serve the function that you want. And with how your choices are now in this book, there's just other things that I would much rather have. Like you're not hurting for choices, so you're not going to go to these guys very often, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tech piece you'd usually use these guys for is just better served by plague drones, is my feeling. Like, that's what it comes down
Yep.
to. I think they're going to end up functionally ending up in a lot of the same role because I don't think the damage will actually matter that much. So the plague drones just be a more effective way, especially since you can end up getting plague drones, back through the aforementioned rally bonus, right? So, all right.
Yeah, that's one thing that Blight Lords cannot do. They cannot be rallied back because with eight wounds, that's undoable.
Yep. Dino, you want to take Slaven Knights?
I have changed my mind on their utility. I always think that any army you run, if they have heavy cavalry, it needs to be reinforced. This is your strongest punch. So if it's Blood Knights, you always need to get 10. If they hit something, it needs to be destroyed fully. These guys, I can see them more like a tech piece than a full hammer because the army, frankly, has other hammers. And removing 6 and going down to 3 actually gives you the points to make a better second or third hammer somewhere else. They are an amazing tech piece. And my thing about the +1 damage that you said on the chart, Paul, is that they're not damage 1 +1 damage. They're damage 2 +1 damage. And it makes all the difference. Speaking from someone who runs Vordry for his Blood Knights, they will always charge for 2 damage, and then Vordry will make them 2 damage. So when they get punched back, you don't lose that 100% extra damage, basically, going from 1 to 2. So 2 to 3 is actually really good. The fact that they give strike last on a 2-up, probably if you use them right, but even a 3-up, this is insane. Again, I'm not sure about what you say about go to the middle of the board and just sit there. I think this Nurgle army has the chance to say, "Oh, I'm coming over, and you don't want me to be anywhere around you, so I'm definitely coming over." So them being move 8, along with the Blight Lords as well, being move 8, and even maybe the Maggoth Lords, this will give you a good wave, maybe in different places, to get to the opponent, because the opponent does not want you to be there. So I do like them, but no longer reinforced. It's not that they're bad reinforced, but with the debuffs you can give to your army, it's enough for them to just do that damage, even as 3 of them. And health 4 on cavalry is excellent. The times that I wish Blood Knights were health 4 and not health 3, because they just get removed. Like even retreating might kill them. Health 4 coming from old Eels from Isengard, where they were health 4 for some reason. Excellent with power through and all those choices. I think Slaven Knights at 180, again a 500 pack with 2 of them plus a Harbinger, which has combo with them with the prayers and his war scroll thing. They might have place. I will definitely run one unit. I will try them reinforced as well, but I want to see how the rest look not just in theory, but on the table. They're in a 3-up, 5-up. Just so you know,
Sure.
this is big. This is big.
It's big. To me, they're a 3-pack counterpunch countercharge unit, and they're used to make sure that the enemy does not win any fights. Because what they're actually exist for. So I found a lot of value in Anointed Sentinels in Hellsmiths because of their good countercharge capability of just always having them like around behind my lines so that people know if they come into me, then they're going to get hit by this Anointed Sentinel unit that comes in and gains strike first, right? And I'm going to deplete their unit before they ever get to swing. This is effectively doing the same thing. It's a countercharge unit that's more threat that says like, if you come into me, and I'm pushing on you, so you have to, right? Like, as it goes to what you said, like, I'm going to push on you. You have to come to me, right? And when you do, whatever your hammer is that was stupid enough to wander into my army is getting countercharge, strike last, and then dead. And that's what their point is. Like, yeah, they do some damage, and it's fine. That's all nice. Like, it's 7 attacks on 4s and 3s. It's going to be really easy to actually wound with, like, 1 attack. That's just going to happen a lot. That's within 1 standard deviation, is you wound with 1 attack. Okay.
Having them along with maybe Orgoth, 3 Sloven Knights and Orgoths, or Blow-Up. That's because Blow-Up and Orgoths are Wrathbringers as well. They do combo well together. Right. That's a nice punch. That's 400 points, but no 450. Not bad. I don't know.
Yep. But I love them as the counterpunch unit. I think that's where they bring a tremendous amount of utility. I think 6-pack is honestly an overinvestment. They're not meant to be a heavy cab hammer, which is how they normally get used. All right.
They look like it, but they're not.
One of the best units in the game. Pestigores, here we go. And the Shaman. Love both of these guys. A+. Now we're into the good, the juice. Pestigores. 2 health each, 5-up save, 6-up save. Read that as 5-up, 5-up, because you ain't never going to not have a tree near these boys. They love the trees. 10 of them for 130 points, giving you 20 health on a 5-up, 5-up. They make 2 attacks each, 4s and 3s, rend nothing but wait, damage 1. Add 1 to the rend characteristic while it's not within enemy territory. Somewhat map dependent, but on any map where the enemy territory is only the 11-inch bar, right? Because it's not, they can be in neutral territory. They just can't be in enemy territory. In any map where the 11-inch bar or something like that, you know, or like this corners, you know, the map where it's like you get a little bit of the corner or something. Oh, you guys are golden. Golden. They're rend 1 all the time, baby. But either way, it doesn't actually matter that much, but it's cool. Absolute rock star unit. So I hit these guys. They were alone. I didn't hit the unit that had all the buffs on it. He had 2 units of 20 Pestigores. 1 was super buffed with the neg 1 to be wounded and everything else. He had the Shaman next to him and all of that. 1 was just standing on its own. It had a tree, so they were 5-up, 5-up. And I hit them with 6 Bull Centaurs buffed up. Okay? Like a significant hammer in my army.
Yep.
Right? This is like 3, 4 damage, some crazy 3 mortal wound, crit mortal unit, right? Makes like 25 attacks. With the mortal wounds from the impact hits from my Bull Centaurs and the full attacks, I killed 9 Pestigores. Then they chopped down, the remaining 11 chopped down 3 of my Bull Centaurs. Who do you think won that fight?
Goat on goat violence. I don't understand.
Yes.
The drama.
Right. Now, again, we could math that out. I'm telling you my lived experience, and obviously, like, I might have rolled high, or low, he might have rolled high, whatever. My point is they're shockingly durable for what they are.
Yeah.
They rally really easily. They're tough. Like, they're everything you want in a unit. They're an insane amount of health. They are again, 1,300. I state this again. This is a fantastic investment. 1,300 points is 100 of these guys, and that is 200 health on the table. And good luck.
Yeah.
Good freaking luck.
Their 6-inch move. That's
and
not
their 6-inch move. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's a huge deal them being 6
Yeah,
inches.
it is
Like
huge. That's
he was so
50%
much
more
more
than the rest.
mobile with these guys. Yes.
Yep. I don't have any Beasts of Chaos, so I cannot actually run them. But having painted the Darkwater ones now, it's one of the most. I don't like it.
The regular ones are a very different paint job. I'll say that because
I'm
they're
looking forward
two
to that.
completely
I have
different
to say.
units. Yeah.
The naked cow, the secret cow level ones, from Diablo. That's the ones. Yeah, that's how I'm painting them, by the way. That's for sure. But
Nice.
the ones from Darkwater, they have so much stuff on them that it's a chore to paint. And you have turned me on these, by the way. Like the Shaman Falhoof, which we're going to talk about, he's going to take the Roadbringer Sorcerer's position.
It's my boy. All right, let's talk about my boy real quick, and then Paul, I want your take on Pestigors and everything. This whole package. Shaman Falhoof, 6-inch move, 5 health, 5 up, probably 5 up. He has attacks. Who cares? He has his own spell. He's got a real good range at 18 inches. He can easily be casting that on a 6 or a 5, depending on where he happens to be standing. And it's -1 rend. Yet again, very good for making your unit of Pestigors survive. The unit of 20 Pestigors absorbs Fleshy Abundance so freaking well, by the way. I didn't mention that, but again, like giving these guys, like neg 1 to be wounded, forget about it. And he also has a nice little any combat phase buff that he can just pick some Pestigors, roll a 3 up, and give them an extra attack. Now they're 3 attacks each. Hey, why not 61 attacks out of that unit? Why not? Why not? So pretty good. He's 110 points and an awesome model. I have him painted. He's like right there. There you go. I love this little guy. I wanted to paint him as soon as I saw him. He's like my favorite model that they released in a while. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I just think he's super cool. Anyways, Paul, what do you think on the Pestigor package?
I love it. This is, for me, this is like an automatic 20 pack of Pestigor and a Shaman in pretty much every list.
Yep.
They do, like, in the index, I liked Plague Bearers, right? Like, they're a good block that just, you can have a block of 20 of them. They sit there. They just absorb lots and lots of damage. They absorb buffs well, and debuffs. You know, they do a lot of what you want them to do. These guys are all of that and twice as many attacks.
Right.
And 3 times as many attacks when the Shaman's with them.
Right.
Who gives them that buff, doesn't need to be in combat himself, doesn't need to attack, doesn't need to be anywhere but within 12 inches of these guys. So he can go hang out in safety.
It's not a combat range.
Behind
yeah.
Yep.
So I think it's like correct from a design standpoint that the Shaman Falhoof is unique, because if you were able to run too many of this guy, like,
can you imagine if this guy was not Shaman Falhoof but Falhoof Shaman?
Right.
If that was the thing. Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. It's so good. And you don't even need Falhoof to be with them.
Right.
Like, they're good enough on their own, just with a wizard throwing Fleshy Abundance on them to get the -1 to wound. It's so good.
Real good.
And they're so stupid cheap. Yeah, we are all in Sympathicor here. Like, these guys are the GOAT.
Absolutely. Yes. The GOATs are the GOAT, baby. That's right. Who is the greatest of all time? Well, the Beastmen are back. For those of you who are sad about your Beastmen, congratulations. You got the best units in the books. There you go. Or at least vying for best. Because
we got
to talk about something coming up real soon. So first of all, Pox Wretches, these little Goombas. So God, I hate these stupid idiots.
They're wearing the VR goggles. That's the one. Those are the ones, right?
Yeah, they've got their meta headsets on or whatever, their Oculuses. You get 14 of these guys and 6 little Mire Kelpies for 100 points. Okay. And they are, did I mention they're 100 points? Did I say that? Because they're 100 points. That's how much they are. Okay. And
I dig these guys.
You get to, like, add extra disease, I guess. So that's fun. Other than that, they're just a big wound dump that just like is there to be running around and killed. They move 5 inches, which is nice. They're slightly faster.
For some reason, these guys have 29 attack, 14 wounds. That's 14. Or do they have musician? No, 14 control. Not bad, but these guys just want to die. That's what they want.
Yep.
They want to die. And they will give you disease 3 different ways. If you
Yep.
don't kill them, they're going to give you disease. Why? Because that's the thing about them. They give disease before the disease step.
Right.
So if you disease something, if someone is mad enough to allow them to give them disease, then you can spread from that one. So if they run within 7, if they run, is it within 7? In combat. So if they're in combat with something, and you can disease them with the kelpies, then you can spread through that.
Right.
Which is good. But if they're like, nope, go away, I'm going to kill you. If you kill them on a 3-up, disease. So for 100 points, this is just for the fun of the thing. I like them. Now, yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, they're a little explosive disease unit. It's pretty nice.
You have the points.
Yep. Rotmire Creed. Nah.
No.
Yeah, they're just outclassed
Wait,
by
where's
too
my-
many other things.
Where did I... What the heck? Did I skip them somewhere? Did I miss this page? Oh my god, I'm so
I think you
sorry,
may
everybody.
Everybody knows who you're talking about, though, so we can talk about it.
My god. Somehow I
until you
missed this
find
page.
them.
What happened?
Yeah.
Did the page... I think the page might have stuck together. No comment on that. Okay. I gotta get
The
to
thing
these guys.
about Rotmire Creed is that they basically got nerfed because now you can actually project disease. It's what they used to do. Because not on 12 inches, they will get disease. You still need to roll the 4-up. So,
Right.
Oh well.
All right.
Oh, well.
So I apologize, everyone. I left like probably the best unit in the book out of my thing here, but we'll just talk about them. Rot swords. Yes, the new your chaos warriors
Blight Kings.
that are Nurgle. Your new
Your old Blight
Kings.
Kings.
Yes. So rot swords are 2 health with a 4-inch move and a 3-up save, 6-up ward, but that's going to be 5-up. So these guys are always going to be 3-up, 5-up. There will always be a tree around them. Horticulus will make sure of that. They make 2 attacks on 3s and 3s, very easily 3s and 2s because you got old Drippy hanging around. And rend 1, damage 1 with crit 2 hits. So crit 2 hits is effectively +1 to hit, meaning these guys
2-up, 2-up.
are 2-up, 2-up, which is pretty good. And they have an ability that if anybody charges them, they get to roll a die. And on a 3-up, that unit can't use commands for the rest of the turn. If these guys get buffed with any of the like 7 different buffs that we've talked about that could hit them, they are 2 hundo on the points for these guys for 10 of them. So they're one of the more expensive health to point ratios that is completely worth it. For 400 points, you get effectively an unbreakable block that absorbs every buff perfectly and shuts off commands and does a bunch of other good stuff with old Drippy, with the Lord of Plagues. They're amazing. They're amazing. Like, you will have a unit of rot swords in your army. This is it. Take them Blight Kings and rebase them. Welcome to rot sword life, boys. They're just incredible. I apologize, everybody, that I didn't get that unit in there, but there you go. They're incredible.
I can imagine discussing with the opponents after the game, and that would be like, your first mistake was charging these guys. And then your second mistake was not charging these guys.
Correct. Yeah.
So, yeah.
There is no winning. That's right.
Nope.
Like, he had his unit, the center of the board, again, we were playing in the like fight in a phone booth, but like there are missions like that, right? As opposed to the only thing that keeps Nurgle from being truly dominant in this edition is that there are many missions that spread you very far, and that's where Nurgle is weaker. But any of those close-up things, like the center of the board was Rodigus, 20 Pestigors, and 20 Rot Swords.
Enjoy.
What?
Enjoy.
If I threw my entire army at one of those bricks, I would lose. I would lose that.
And that was only a little over 1,000 points.
Right. Yeah.
They are currently 1/4 of your army, 500 points for them plus their hero.
Plus
At
Drippy.
some point, there's going to be 1/3 of your army, and that's still going to be fine. For 650, 40 wounds that are effectively unchargeable. Like, if you want to charge, be my guest, but there's so many things. You're going to have a bad time.
Yep. This will not end well for you.
Nope. Nope.
All right.
And this unit is beautiful, first of all.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous sculpts, yes.
Yeah, gorgeous sculpt. People have Stormcast that they might want to kit bash. I think the Danish guy in our what's his name? NRM Paint. Excellent Danish painter. He has made a Blight King out of an old Stormcast. It's one of his older kit bashes, but they look great. And everybody has Blight Kings on, then they fit on 32s. So you will see those really fast. You will see those on the board really fast.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right, let's transition here. We'll take just a few moments to quickly talk about the Armies of Renown. If you haven't already hit like or subscribe or done those things, please do so. Thank you for everybody who super chatted. Keep those super chats coming. It helps us keep the show going. So thank you very much. All right. It is deeply appreciated, folks. Like really, really, I mean that. So hit the buttons, click things, make things, be cool. Armies of Renown. The cycle of corruption. Do you miss the wheel? Paul, do you miss the wheel?
You know, part of me does.
Sure. Would you like a bad version of the wheel back that you have very little control over and that basically gives you abilities that are probably going to do nothing in the round where it happens?
Yeah, that makes me sad.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can have that. Congratulations. It's bad. It's super bad.
Yeah.
Like,
is there no disease in this?
No, nope. You don't
There's
get disease.
No disease in this, right? Wow.
No, you don't get disease.
Sanitize Nurgle. Pass.
This is super bad. It's like really, really bad.
Considering how powerful disease is and how much other stuff in the army references disease. Yeah.
Nope.
Hard pass.
No, this is truly terrible. This they put this in here as a joke. The fact that you don't even get to like you will actually in the game not even experience like two of the steps in most games is very funny to me. Yes, like we can go to the next page here and like, you know, oh my God. It's just like you get a full spell lore and a full prayer lore. So you got that going for you.
Okay.
And
do you know what I realized? I realized that we lost the wheel at the start of the 4.0 and people were like, oh man, Nurgle has lost so much. And now this feels not just excessive. This feels like a hat on a hat on a hat. Or
right. But don't worry, you've got a prayer on a 5 that if you can get to a 12 up, you get to choose which cycle ability you have. So if you rolled bad to start and then spent a couple rounds charging up your stuff, you can then get to the one you want. So it does a minimal effect to your board. I'm not talking about this anymore. It's terrible.
Nope.
Let's talk about the fun one.
Yep.
The Gardeners of Nurgle. Horticulus has to be included. Any Magakin of Nurgle demon units. No regiments of renown. Do you like trees? Do you want to get 4 trees on the board? This is the army for you. Fight with trees. Your trees are your board control and your warriors. This is it. You just poop trees everywhere. You just tree. This is the Captain Planet. Tree. Like, that's what this is. That's it.
This is famously the model that you cannot stand, right?
Correct. Yes.
It's
to anybody with tryptophobia, this thing is a nightmare.
Yeah. If you want to beat Vince in a game, just bring this AOR. He's gonna be turned catatonic from the phobia, probably. So, yeah, that's how you do it.
Absolutely. I will. Just like, okay, you got it. Yeah, Paul, have you thought about, I mean, both of these are like, by the way, again, you don't get disease and any of that stuff. So like you're just not having disease at all. So
I
that's
mean,
relevant.
it's funny.
Yeah.
I of all of the Nurgle stuff that I only own 3 trees. So, like, considering you can get up to 7 on the board with this thing,
I think it's 8.
is it 8?
Which is even a fail. It should be 7 because if you're making something fun and narrative,
Right.
just
You can
do
get
it
a
narrative.
lot of trees on the table is the point. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You can put a lot of trees on the table for free. Like, I mean, if I, you know, back in the first book, one of the sub factions in the first book,
Yep.
or it wasn't even a sub faction, it was a War Scroll battalion, I think, that that let Horticulus plant a tree every turn, and you could
Yep.
basically, it was basically this.
Yeah.
There's people floating around that have like 7 trees because of that. And it was actually half decent then. So some people are going to put this on the table. And it's going to be fun and hilarious, and I don't think it's going to be good.
My regular opponent who has a Nurgle army is pretty in for this. He thinks there's actually an angle here, okay? Because the trees will pop for damage now, right? They do that. Sure. And he wants to give this a try and see if he can actually just control the board with trees and demon units, right? Like it'd be a plague bearer, plague drone heavy army is what you'd be going for. There you would use the normal Guo. He's going to use the normal Guo so they can keep coming back. And basically the concept is you have to kill everything in the army twice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I hope someone wins the best painted with this.
Sure.
That's like,
so
you remember when we
like
talked
trees,
about the corn one? We talked about the corn book, and I said, I want to talk about the AOR in the end. And this is literally the opposite. Like,
sure.
I couldn't care less about the AORs in this book.
I get it. They're basically memes. The first one is just bad, and the second one is a fun meme. Like, that's what it comes down to. But I do think this could be legitimately fun to play. I'll say that.
Yes.
Maybe even again, which is a great thing to say.
Yeah. Yep. I will say it's funny you get a whole spell lore and it like all has to do with trees basically, right? Like you can turn off ward rolls, you do more damage with your trees. It's great. This like I love a unified theory of the case, right? And this one just says, do you like trees? Do you want everything, literal every ability to care about trees? This is the one. This is the one. This cares about trees more than the entire Sylvaneth army combined. Let me just say that.
Very true. That's very true. If you own 7 trees, we love you, and we're gonna make something for you, and they did.
So. And they did, and I'm fine with that. That's how armies of renown should be. I think this is really fun. This is a really fun one.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. Any final thoughts on Nurgle before we call it a day?
I hope that you know, I'm going to go to more of an advice piece for everybody else.
I'm ready.
Get
ready for points adjustments.
Yes, these points are going up. So don't go out and buy like 80 rot swords because they're probably not going to fit in an army. Pestigore, maybe go out and buy 80. I don't think they're ever going to go up enough that you can't fit 80 of those in an army.
I would say keep your powder dry at 40. 40 feels like a decent investment. They'd have to go up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think this army does also, it has good diversity in it. So if one unit gets hit and another unit doesn't get hit in a points change, all it's going to do is shift you from whatever your optimal choice was to the slightly suboptimal choice.
Right.
So I think there's
a deep bench here,
but as Dino said, like this is going to be a high skill floor, high skill ceiling army, and so I don't think people are going to be rushing into this and just like running tables on it if they don't have a lot of game experience or Nurgle experience. So, but all of the models are beautiful, so go buy the models and enjoy them and paint them, and it will be great.
Yep. Dino, final thoughts?
I'm in love with this book, not for its power, but because it's truly a Nurgle book. It speaks to the Johnnies in us, and the Spikes in us, and the Teamies in us, and the Teamies in us, and the new sculpts are gorgeous, and that's something that people who enjoy that part of the hobby will be able to enjoy for years. But that's true even for the old Blight Kings as we speak. Yes, the book feels a bit cheap. It feels cheap, not a bit cheap. And spamming will be annoying to a lot of people, but it's not going to stay the same. Overgrown is going to go away. So that's a big thing for the heroes. And we do mention that everything is on a 5-up. But again, this speaks to the more experienced players. It's not going to be always easy to keep everything on a 5-up. So this is a strong army. I think they wrote the book when they were thinking that the index is a bit too weak, because if you remember, Nurgle was not in a good place when they started. But the fact that the roster has gotten so full now means that for years, this book is going to give us things to do for years. And great job. Well done. And it will get weakened, and that's totally fine, as it should. It's a wheel.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yep. My summary is I am very impressed by this book. I wish all the Battletomes came out like this book. Again, not the points wise. I wish that wasn't like this. I wish we had just had reasonable points to begin. Like you said, it's the design of the book. There's so many different lists that I can think of building with this that seem like they've got interesting synergies, game plans, things going on, right? There's so many, like, I could use this to play this role or this. I've got this tech piece option or this. These two things synergize and would work interestingly with this. That's the success of this book, right? Points completely to the side where they're clearly too low. The book has an interesting set of abilities and executes on them in varied game plans, right? It has like one overarching theme, and it actually can access that theme on multiple paths. That's very rare that they manage to achieve that. And so to me, this is actually a success. The question of like, how well will this book do? I think it will actually do kind of poorly initially. And I don't think it'll get the points adjustments it needs because of two reasons. One, I don't think the skill floor is as high as you're talking about, Dino. I think it's a little higher, but like you can also just flood the board. Anytime you've got a board flood strategy, it's not that hard to just win. I think where it'll lose, why it'll be harder to go 5-0 is a couple of things. One, it does get weaker the more spread the board is. That's just true. And there'll be tournaments where people are playing you got an objective here and an objective here. And that's a tough game for Nurgle. They're still slow. Okay. 2, people will play a bunch of the bad units. Like a bunch of people have Blight Kings and they will just go to tournaments with a bunch of their Blight Kings, and it'll just be an extremely suboptimal version of the book being played. That's what will happen. Right. And then 3 is your skill floor issue. So I think it'll actually be quite a while before we see the manifestation of this. Like if you can get into the data and separate out the ELO or something, you're going to see where like the right lists with the right stuff just crazy overperform, and the people who are just running what they had before and don't have the skill to navigate the new requirements of the book underperform. So there you go. Yeah. And so that's my overall feeling on it. All right. Hey, for all of you out there, and I agree, Curran, the mission pack is going to be a big thing. Like, I think there's 3 big factors that'll hold this thing down from being at like the 65% win rate book it probably actually is. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, hey, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Dino, for staying up so late. It's very late where he is. Paul, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, brother, as always.
Thank you for
to all of
having
you
me.
out there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, support the channel, click things, make dings. It's awesome. You'll feel so much better about yourself. If you want to support the show, look down below, find links. There's all sorts of affiliate links down there. Save yourself some money. Get yourself some new models, some new paints. You got to paint up them new rot swords. Why not use my affiliate links? It's great. And it really supports the channel. Check out my other podcasts. Fireball the Gazebo had a real fire episode come out this week. John decided to name it Why We Hate Critical Role. people tuned in for that. So check it out. It's pretty good. John controls the names, so he goes for the catchy titles. Check out Snarlcast with Uncle Adam. We talk about game design, things like that. New episode will be out next Monday. Of course, Patreon, merch store, all that stuff. Hit things, support the show. It helps us here. All right, everybody. Hey, listen, I just want to thank you so much for watching. I'm glad we were able to keep this on an earlier, oh boy, there we go, on an earlier schedule for everybody. And Vince now hurriedly remembers that he forgot to actually open the thing that lets him turn this off, which is fun. You can do that. That's real neat. You can actually do that. At any rate, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. As always, we'll see you next Wednesday. And don't forget to start rolling dice.